What is good, family? This is your girl. I am Courtney Michelle, and welcome back to another edition of Say What? This is where we do a weekly review of all the interesting things that has happened. We give our take. If you agree, if you don't, holler at me in the chat. We want to make sure that we get you guys' opinions. So again, thank you for for joining us today. I want to say what's up to the people in the chat that I see. What is going on? Jordan, my guy, you are always on it. I appreciate you so much. I see you, Mo. I see you, my brother Salam. I see you, Barry, Hawk, Al B. What is going on? You guys, today is going to be a good one. I had a few topics that gathered that I wanted to discuss, and then I saw some other stuff that I wanted to discuss. So we got a lot to talk about today. But before I get into it, I got to bring up the illustrious panelists that join me every Saturday. First, we have the beautiful, the intelligent, the wise. She needs no further introduction. She's so much that in her name, we had to call her Mosaic because it's so many elements to this beautiful woman. Give it up for TJ Randolph. What is up, TJ?
What? Well,
Thank
you?
you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
You
you. Good
looking
morning. Well, good
beautiful.
afternoon.
Yes, I know. How are you doing today?
I am great. I am very good. I'm very well rested and ready to get this thing going.
Yeah, well, you look beautiful.
Well, thank
Especially
you.
that purple. I feel like we a little royalty up in here.
Well, I'm feeling a little bit royal. This outfit has, minus the shrug, has a very special meaning because this dress, I'm wearing a dress, and these earrings are what I wore to my wedding reception. And yes, and I picked this dress in this color specifically because it's Mr. Randolph's favorite color. So
Oh, shout out. Well, we know what's going to be popping after the show. All right, I see you. We have another guest that's going to be joining us. I'll introduce her once she pops off, but I want to go ahead and get started because there's a lot on the docket. I had to add one and few because I said, wait a minute, we need to get this, but I want to go ahead and start. Let's talk about the Brat. Have you been keeping up what's been going on this past week about the BRAT?
I'm still in shock, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm in shock, and I have so many mixed emotions about it because I have my beliefs and what my core beliefs are as it relates to the creation of a child, and it should be by a woman and man. However, I am also the bonus mom, and one of my bonus daughters, is in a same-sex relationship. So, and I'm asking myself, how would I feel, you know, if that were her? So.
Right. So for those that don't know, the Brat and her wife has now told us all that they are expecting a little one. She is 48, and her wife has decided that they wanted a child. Now, I was surprised that we had the Brat carrying. Now, that's something that I was shocked at. I said, not the Brat, not the DABRA. Come on, but hey, to each his own. Let me go ahead and play. I want to play a clip of they were on Good Morning America. Again, we're going to hear it. I can't necessarily play it in its just, but let's hear the announcement that they did on Good Morning America announcing that the Brat is pregnant.
Okay.
Can you imagine what you would tell yourself?
I was hanging with JD and Chris Cross and Method Man and Biggie and Pac. We were just having a great time. I never thought, never thought that I would be settled down, married, and pregnant. I just never thought that.
The couple revealing Tuesday Brat is pregnant at 48 with their first child together, a journey they say began soon after they tied the knot last February.
I never really wanted to have kids until I met her. Until I came out of the closet and started living my life out loud and able to share with the world who I love and, what I love doing with the person I love. And that made me want to just experience everything that you can get out of life. I want a little us. I think that would be like amazing.
Today is the day, beautiful.
Brat and Judy documenting the emotional ups and downs on the latest season of their reality show, Brat Loves Judy.
So then we had to see a cardiologist. I had to see a hematologist.
I had fibroids, and then thank God they weren't close to my uterus, but then I found out I had 2 polyps, so I had to get those removed, and then it was just thing after thing. So we went back, they got it in, and it was successful. We had to wait 10 days to see if we were pregnant. We took the blood test and stuff, and it was positive. We were pregnant. And then a few days later, the numbers went down, and we miscarried.
But after the heartache came hope.
I thought she wasn't going to want to go again.
Really? Yeah.
Because, you know, she had never experienced pregnancy. She
And
was
we were
really
so
excited.
happy.
But on the other side of that,
We did a second embryo transfer.
About 2 to 3 days after, she was like, let's just go back.
yeah.
Now, 18 weeks along, Brat and Judy are set to welcome their baby in July, and they say they hope their story inspires other women to take a chance at motherhood later in life.
What is your message to anyone out there who feels like it's too late for them?
Whatever your dream is or whatever you would like to do in life, you only live once. Or if you really want a child, you can carry a child. You don't have to give up.
What are your thoughts?
Well, you know, like I said, I have mixed emotions because I have a daughter, you know, my bonus daughter who is in a same-sex relationship. But my beliefs are that a child should be created by man and woman. And I think, you know, understanding the desire to want to know what carrying a child is, but what I've learned that it should be more than what you want. It should be what truly is in the best interest of the child. And I will say, interestingly enough, there was a time I probably wouldn't have really understood the importance of a father and a mother in, you know, in the day-to-day, but seeing how it affected me growing up and also seeing how it affected my daughter growing up. You know, I have some friends that have chosen to have children, you know, in similar fashions. And I know that there can be times that that the child will ask, you know, questions about, you know, where's the other part of me, just like an adopted child would ask about their biological parent. So I think it is complex. I have mixed emotions about it. I don't think it's something that I know it's something I don't agree with. If it's something that happened in my family, I would accept it, but it's not something that I would advocate. No.
Yeah. You know, when I heard the news that she was pregnant, I was like, okay. But, you know, I try to be consistent. And if I say that the best situation for a child is to have a mom and a dad, then I have to be consistent with it. And even though, you know, she's married, same-sex marriage, but you decided to bring a child with no type of father at all. It's not that the dad left or I left him, but you did have a dad. This is you decided that I am going to create a child and specifically will not have a dad. And for me, I think it's absolutely selfish. I understand the desire, especially as a woman, to want children. That's what we are created for. We're supposed to create. But I definitely think that there is a specific way on how you're supposed to bring up a child. Have we been doing it? Did I do it the right way? Absolutely not. But I can't, if I say that, you know, I should have been married, well, I'm going to continue to say that they should have a mom and dad. Now, if they are not wanting a man, then what? And they want a child. Is it selfish for them to have a baby amongst them? Because like she said, she wanted to create a little them. I don't know how they're going to create that.
No.
Because who's sperm, unless it's one of the guys' sperm, but it's just what you're not going to have a little you.
It's one egg. It's not a combined egg.
So I don't know where that idea, yeah, we wanted to create something of ours. This ain't technically, it's not. Now they use a sperm from a brother, uncle, or something. Okay, maybe it's like DNA, but it's not yours. So the Brat's carrying, maybe it's her egg. I don't know. So I did a video, right? Because on the cusp of Jason Whitlock, and everything is, the whole community is because of single baby mamas.
Right.
And the men are so feminine, and the men you need a man. But I made a video because I was like, why is the people quiet? How come I'm not seeing no content creators talk about this? You talk about baby mama so bad, but you're not talking about the women that are creating children specifically with no father, meaning they're going to sperm banks, they're freezing their eggs, they're doing it. That seems to be a topic of no one wants to talk about or discuss, or maybe that's not an issue. So I posed that question, and I'm like, if you're so adamant about fathers being in the home, why are you quiet about the brat that is purposefully not having a dad and bringing a child? We don't know if this is going to be a little boy, a little girl yet, but purposely doing it without a thought of a man around. So I made that, and there was some, I want to show you some comments of one that, was kind of opposed to me, and I wanted to get your thoughts because I thought this was interesting. Little feisty. Boy, she had a lot to say about comments.
Feisty goddess?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not shocked. Just because she is bisexual and is currently married to a woman does not mean she didn't want to be a mother. Like, she has all of her reproductive organs. Why wouldn't she want to be a mother? Well, she should want to be a mom. That's what we're created for. Again, that urge, whether you gay, straight, asexual, pansexual, that urge is innately in you because that's what you were designed for. No matter how much you try to run, you were created to be a mother. So that innately is going to be in you. So I responded, I said, here lies the problem. Wanting to be a mom is not enough in that self. It's not enough. Me wanting to be a mom is not enough. Me wanting to have a big house is not enough, because if I get into it, can I afford it? Can I afford the upkeep? Is this really feasible for me? Am I going to get foreclosed on because I can't necessarily afford it? So me wanting something doesn't mean I need to have it.
Yep.
So you wanting a child, well, you should want a child. However, once you have a child, your needs and your wants become in the back. So what is the best lifestyle for my child? And then you create that environment. So then she went out, Hawk, he's in the Hawk responded, so sad, facts. And then she goes on, just because she is a lesbian doesn't mean she don't want to be a mother. Like, you act like she's not a woman. She is not trans. She's a woman with all of her reproductive organs. I don't need a man or a husband. And she goes off, and ain't nobody really talking to her because, again, honey, when you wake up a little, I don't want to call her crazy, but clearly triggered, and she kept it going. A child deserves a parent or parents of a village that will love them and take care of them, which I agree. However, that village includes a mom and a dad. So I guess someone responded, why not? You wouldn't be here without a man's seed, and you wouldn't be here without a woman's egg. Okay. I have no interest in being a wife or mother. I love my single life. I wouldn't trade it for anything. I don't know if I believe that or not. But what do you say to Feisty? That it didn't matter, just as long as she has 11 parents. That's all that matters.
But it's going to matter. And again, I think what we don't think about sometimes in our desires is, what are we going to say when those questions arise? Because children are people, and they're going to have questions. Where's the other half of me? Now, on the one hand, they may be pleased and glad that their mom decided to bring them into the world anyway. But on the other hand, they may ask, well, why wouldn't you want me to have a father? Because I'm going to tell you something, and I don't want to digress too much, but I remember again, as a single mom, going to, when Danielle, particularly when she was little, she wanted what her friends had, a mother and a father. She wanted a mother and a father because particularly in the military, you have a lot of, mothers and fathers. So again, she was the odd person out because even though her mom was in the military, her mom was a single mom, whereas her friends had mothers and daddies. So at some point, I don't think we consider what they may want later.
Yeah. I agree. And I could just think of my childhood, not, my dad and not growing up with him. But my favorite cousin, I used to spend the night at her house, but I was always attracted to her house. I always wanted to spend the night because I wanted to be in a house with a mom and a dad. I was like, man, and how, my cousin, how her dad, my uncle used to treat her and play. And I was like, there was resentment. There was, maybe even a bit envious because I was like, I want to be a daddy's girl. How come my dad is not there for me? How come my dad? And I had all of these questions. And then, repairing my relationship with my dad has been such a joy and a blessing because now I can see what I didn't know why I acted this way. And I didn't know why I thought this way because of my dad. And so it started making me put things together. Whereas, my mom is this way, but I don't act that way to my mom, but this is my dad. And then my dad is the one that kind of gives me still confidence in myself when I'm going through something. It's my dad. You know who the F you are? I know your daddy talk like that. It's your dad that gives you confidence. And even at this age of being 21, 19 years now going, I still feel like when I talk to my dad, I still get that feeling and I still feel like a daddy's girl still at middle age, and me thinking that you purposely are putting a child in a situation where they will never have that.
And are you prepared to answer the questions? And I think sometimes we think we are because we haven't had to answer them yet.
Mm-hmm.
And like I liken it to children who are put up for adoption, particularly those who may not know that they were adopted and they want to find out. And because they, again, particularly if they're growing up and they say, I don't look like this person, I don't look like this person, something's not right.
Yeah. It's just something about that. It's just something special where, I look at my hands, I'm like, man, my hands are like my dad's. Like I said, my gap is my dad. It's those little bit things that makes me feel connected. And I really think with children that, and not even children, but with adults, we're always yearning to, who am I? Mm-hmm. And those are questions that when you get in these situations, you're not giving that child the gift of knowing exactly who they are and knowing that other side of them. And not only what a man can teach them as being their father, but, learning who my grandmother is on my dad's side and my cousins and the extended family. And I just think it's selfish. I understand you're gay. Okay. You want a child. I get it. But is neglecting those ones from what that child is going to crave and need, is it worth it? Is it worth already bringing a child up that's going to already have a deficit?
Again, I don't think that a lot of times we think about that. We don't until, again, I will remember going back to my daughter when she would ask those questions and because she wanted to go over to her friends that had a mom and dad because mom was making cookies and stuff. I felt inadequate. Mm-hmm. I felt like I had failed my daughter.
Right.
But those things I wasn't thinking about that at the time, but I knew I was not going to do anything other than have my child, but I didn't think about the implications down the road. And, and her father was, we knew who her father was and he played a part in her life, an active role. But again, it still wasn't the same as her friends. Mm-hmm. And like I had a father, I found out who my father was at, 5 or 6, but still, it was not it was not the same as had I grown up in the house with my dad and my mom.
Right.
So I just think we don't think about it.
No, we don't. And so, the brat, from a humanity standpoint, I understand. However, this goes consistent around the board. The best situation for your child to grow up in is mom and dad in the home. And if we severance that and dad is not in the home, mom's not in the home, then the second best thing is to make sure that they have a healthy relationship with said parent. And that's contingent upon you getting out your feelings, your hurt, to make sure that your child has the best relationship. And again, she's just putting her child already having a deficit. And that's stuff I'm just like, right? I get it, but your child is going to suffer for it. And there's not a dime in the world, not a money that's going to fill that deficit. The dad feels that. The mom feels that.
Can I say one thing really quickly?
Yeah,
my father will be 75 next month.
mm-hmm.
My father has never met his father. He doesn't even have a picture of him.
Ooh.
I'm getting emotional.
Yeah, that's tough.
And my father has said those same things, that he always felt there was a part missing because he doesn't even know what his father looked like.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a part of you that's missing.
Yeah. I want to respond to this because I think that Glow might have put this in a comment or I've seen it before. This is not our business. It is our business. Okay. We got to get out of this. It's not my business. Yes, it is. Because how these kids are raised is going to affect your child in their school. My child has got to be around your kid. So it does affect me. The ideologies that people are wanting to push affects me. When laws are passed that I don't agree with because they want to pander to a group of folks, it affects me. So it is my business. If I want better for my community, that means I'm making it my business, as a matter of fact. If I see something going on with a child, you think I'm going to look the other way because it's not my business? Kiss my ass. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Because my child got to go to school with yours.
And Lord knows.
I have to talk about, why she got two mamas. I got to talk about this. It is my business. Now what?
And Lord knows I have to do it. I have to be up at the school because, again, what happens in your house can ultimately affect mine's.
It is my business. How dare people get so hype about George Floyd and police brutality? If that's the case, then you need to shut up. Did it happen to you? Did you get police? Did the police hurt you? No.
It ain't none of your business.
It's not none of your business. Don't be a marching. Okay? Don't sit your little black ass down, watch the TV, and go to sleep. Ain't got nothing to do with you, right? But no, they'll be all up in arms and talk about, you make it your business to make sure that police brutality and everything else doesn't happen on your watch. So while I'm on my watch, it's my business. Mine. What go on in society is my business. I pay taxes. It's my business. Now, it's just a little PSA. It's my business. Sure is. So, all right, the Brat, I see you, Brat, but that child need a daddy. Now, what's else been going on in these worldly streets that is still my business? The people have been getting convicted. People is going to jail double time. And what I mean by people, one of them is good old R.Kelly. Now, did you see Now, he's just got sentenced. A Chicago judge sentences R. Kelly to 20 years in prison following the 2022 trial in which a jury found he had enticed minors for sex and produced child sexual imagery. However, in a victory, and this just came a couple days ago for the singer's lawyers, the judge said that all but one of those years can be served at the same time as his previous 30-year prison. So let me play something on him and let me get your response about the Pied Piper, R. Kelly, the fall from grace.
More time in prison after being sentenced federally for child pornography and enticement of minors for sex. He got 20 years in prison today. He will serve all but one of those years simultaneously with a 30-year sentence for racketeering and sex trafficking. The judge ordered Kelly to serve 1 year in prison following the racketeering sentence, making him eligible for release at around the age of 80.
So R. Kelly was already sentenced, and then he got resentenced. Now it's going to be consecutively. So they're saying that he will not get out until he is 80 years old. What are your thoughts on Kels? Well, let me ask you this. Do you still listen to R. Kelly music?
I ain't gonna lie. There are a couple of songs that are still on my playlist from when, again, back in the day, the Ignition song.
Okay. Yeah. The remix?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's another song that he, I don't know, him and Fat Joe.
Mm-hmm.
We dug and walking up. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. I haven't taken those off my playlist, and because they've been on my playlist for eons.
Mm-hmm.
But it makes me sad. I ain't gonna lie, because I think about I Believe I Can Fly. You know, I think about I Look to You, the song that he wrote for Whitney. It makes me sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
It makes me sad and disgusted. Yeah, I must repent. I must repent.
Yeah, you know, the thing about with R. Kelly, and I think about back in the day when we knew about his relationship with Aaliyah. She was 15. I believe he was 27 when they got married, and then it was eventually annulled. But it's not like we didn't know. That was a flag.
It was.
Why did we hide it?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, it made me think, because in my mind, and I know it to be wrong, in my mind, will think, well, maybe it wasn't true, because if it was true, why wasn't he arrested?
Mm-hmm.
Because she was a minor. So I'm thinking, because we only know so much, and we did not have the intel or the capability of intel, social media, and all those things that we have now. And again, they continue to collaborate for a while. So part of me, well, maybe it's not true.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, in my mind, if it was true, why wasn't he in jail? Because
Right.
he was never even arrested.
Not at all. And then, then when the video came out with the young girl, I didn't watch the video, but I know a lot of people did. But he was still making music. And then when the whole expose of R. Kelly, the Surviving R. Kelly thing came out, and it was people that was in Chicago that knew. There's people in Chicago that was saying, yeah, we see him driving up to McDonald's, picking up girls. So this was continuous for years, for decades, that Chicago people knew what he was doing, the hush hush around him, but no one held him accountable. And now at this stage, they're holding him accountable. But in my head, I'm like, what about the people that knew? What about the parents?
That part. That's what I'm saying. What about the parents?
Why aren't they being held accountable? And should they not have some kind of court sue, going to jail? What about the people that was complicit in the fact that he was doing this to underage girls? Where are they? And how come no one is saying anything about them? That's my problem.
Ain't nobody said a word. And again, going back to Aaliyah, I don't even think that her parents confirmed that was actually the case, that they were married. So you think, well, it's not true. But again, now that was just the beginning. And many of these parents sold their children, quite frankly.
Sold them.
For the promise, or you said the possibility of sex, the possibility of a music career.
Mm-hmm.
And then once they sold them, then was distraught because they had no more control to get the kids back.
Mm-hmm. Where is Aaliyah's parents in this? Have they ever spoke out?
Not to my knowledge.
Where's her mama and her daddy? They need to be held accountable still. Why did you give your child up at 15 to a 27-year-old man?
Somebody, Vivian says, Aaliyah literally told Dane he's a good man. So I guess talking about R.Kelly.
He's the bad man.
Oh, a bad man. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I mean, with all things considering, yes, he is. He's a predator. But I think it's easy because he's in Hollywood, and we all know that a lot of these people in Hollywood are pedos. So no one from the industry is going to say anything because they're doing the exact same thing. But my thing is people in the community. Again, if people in the community made it their business and knew a thing, but what the little lady say, it ain't none of her business. So that's why people kept getting hurt, and child after child was getting molested by men because people didn't want to make it their business. They wanted to turn a blind eye. And now you have a whole lot of traumatic children. And you don't tell them what they kids is going to turn. It's just a whole cycle.
It is a cycle because a lot of times we know that the behavior is perpetuated.
Absolutely. Let me read this super chat. Thank you so much, D.H. Harris. Dap, I see you. Why is it that we are okay with holding Weinstein for his crimes, but we can't accept it when it comes to Kels? I'm just saying, that's a great question. He doesn't get a pass because he's a Negro. And I haven't been able to listen to his music. I can't. I just can't because I keep thinking of him singing this to 13-year-old girls.
And it's funny because, again, I didn't even realize it because I have a lot of music on my playlist. And it wasn't until it came up because I was on my bicycle and I'm like, oh, I felt guilty.
You felt guilty.
But I kept pedaling.
Yeah. So I was looking at my iTunes because, they said that they are not streaming R.Kelly music no more and they stopped and blah, 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 blah. That's what they said. But then I go on iTunes today and I'm like, put in R.Kelly. His whole catalog is on there. So then I started thinking, is he still getting paid from the streams?
Well, for all my lawyers out there, it's my understanding that you're not supposed to be able to benefit off of, you're not supposed to be able to benefit off of your crimes. So I don't know.
Oh, well, it's R.Kelly, and this is allegedly, this came out last year. R.Kelly funneled millions of dollars from music royalties through a childhood friend right before his sex trafficking conviction, prosecutors allege. Sony has withheld paying Kels royalties from his master recordings as the company deals with judgments related to civil legal proceedings against him. They're currently holding on to between $3.5 to $4.5 million worth of royalties for Kelly. But Kelly owes $7 million in judgments. So he's still getting royalties. But they're holding off because he owes so much. And so he's not getting them because he owes the people. However, he's still getting royalties. And then what alleged last year was that he decided to sell some of his masters for $5 million and gave that $5 million to a friend for him to still have. So they are saying that R. Kelly still got some of his money, $5 million at that. He's still getting royalties. However, Sony is not paying them out because they're paying off the lawsuit. So is he still getting paid? Yes.
Somebody in the chat said he is not, but again, it makes sense though what you say, that he's still, the royalties are still allowing to accumulate to pay off, I guess, in some form of restitution.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jordan said, "Why can't we step in the name of love?"
Listen. If you want to step in the name of love, I just can't, because I feel like stepping in the name of love, you're going to be stepping over a plushie doll. You're going to be stepping over some Barbies, because that's what he wants to step over to get to what he wants. And that's a child.
And my mom was so heartbroken because, my mom is old school, and those kind of songs, what she and her heyday, that's what they did. My mom was heartbroken.
Yeah. So, Big Hill. So I was like, is he still getting paid? Now let's look on the Billboard, and not just his incredible music, but these are what he's had on billboards. He's had 2 number 1 hits. Well, I thought it was more, but he has 13 top 10 and 55 songs that has been on the Billboard. So this is songs that, in essence, he is still probably get royalties from. And again, it's on iTunes. So if I stream R.Kelly, there's money going to that. It's going to Sony, but again, that's to pay restitution. Once that's paid off, then where it go? Is Kale's gonna get it after that $7 million is paid?
Well, he ain't never getting out of jail. He ain't never.
Now, not till he's 80. That's what they say. Look, let's look at the songs that's been on the billboards. That's why a genius. A sick genius. I Believe I Can Fly. Step in the Name of Love. We Are Bump and Grind. Hotel. That's with the Cassidy song. I Wish. Man. Kales. Satisfy You with the Diddy Your Bodies. Why, Kales? Any woman in the world.
Yes.
And you want someone in middle school.
Lord have mercy.
Any woman in the world. Down Low, I Can't Sleep, Baby. You remember that song? Remember the video? But I Can't Sleep. He was in skiing. It was in the cabin. I remember him drinking some hot cocoa. That was a good video.
When a Woman's Fed Up.
Fiesta, We Thuggin'. That's the song that you was talking about with Fat Joe. We Thuggin'. Remember you listening to that, TJ? Thuggin'?
I was in San Diego. I was like, hey, in a club.
Right. Clubbing. This Marcus Houston. I used to be an immature fan. So, of course, Marcus Houston, I used to buy everything. And that's a whole nother story with Marcus Houston. Did you hear about that? His wife?
The 22-year-old?
Yeah, well, they say that he was grooming her.
Oh, geez.
Marcus Houston came out with something and said he's known her for 11 years. And then, but she's like 22, 29. And we was like, wait a minute. So you know her since he was like 11? Wait a minute.
And how old is he? And how old is he?
He's my age. Marcus Houston might be a couple years old. He's in his 40s. Maybe, I think he was born like in 81 or something. So he's like 41, 42 or something like that.
What you doing talking to an 11-year-old?
Man, that story within itself is interesting. I'm gonna have to do an expose on that one because she was missing, and her parents couldn't find her, and then they found that she was being held with Marcus Houston and Chris Stokes. And if you know who Chris Stokes is, you know he's known to be a little petty, allegedly. Geez. But I did Marcus Houston, not Batman, not Go Home, Roger. Go home, Roger. But anyway, all these songs, like I said, what was that? Gigolo with Nick Cannon. There's Gotham City, When a Woman's Fed Up, Happy People, Kales.
It's sad. It really is. Honey Love, give me that honey love.
What? That was public announcement. That's when the 90s. Do what you same girl with Usher. I mean, man. Slow dance, feeling on your booty. It's just, and now I'm thinking, whose booty are you feeling on? Someone with a training bra, R.Kelly. That's whose booty. It's the world's greatest. I mean, with Celine Dion, I can't.
With Celine Dion?
You remember I'm Your Angel?
Oh, yeah, I remember that song. Yes.
If I could turn back the hands of time, Snake, So Sexy, Twisted, that's that. I mean, it's just so much. And these are just the songs that made it on the billboards. I don't even think they put like the ones, and this is the ones that he's featured on, not the ones that he wrote. I didn't, You're Not Alone, Michael Jackson, written by Kales.
Well, again, the song, like I said, that he wrote for Whitney Houston, I Look to You. I didn't know that he wrote that until her funeral.
Yeah. Man, Trapped in the Closet, that trilogy.
Trilogy.
I mean, she's got that vibe. You remember that? Back in the 90s?
Mm-mm.
Girl, you got that vibe.
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah. I got that vibe. Hold on. There's more.
It's sad.
Can't Take You Home with Me, aka Body. No, that's when he was doing stuff with the Best of Both Worlds with Jay-Z. In the Kitchen, Lean on Me. Oh, of course, he did some gospel music.
Let me tell you, that Lean on Me song, that brought me to and again, that's on my playlist. It's on my playlist because there. You see that in the back?
Mm-mm. Oh yeah, I see. Okay.
I mean, that song, I would cry to that. Oh man, I'm all messed. I'm mad now again.
Yeah. Oh, what? Hold on. I got to let me do, because I gave it to you, TJ. Let me get you out of my way. Coming up to the stage. She is so beautiful. She is so intelligent. She is so illustrious. However, if you cross her, she will so put you together. Let's give it up for She So Lucky.
I gotta pay you for that. That is hilarious. No, I was listening like, oh, okay, let me be quiet on this topic.
Oh, about the Kales?
Yeah, I have an unpopular opinion, but we can go forward.
No, go ahead. What's your opinion on Kales?
What is it? Like, y'all trying to cancel his music or his behavior?
Well, they just stated that he's been convicted. So he was already convicted, I believe, last year for, how was it, 20 years, 20, 30 years?
20, yeah.
And then he has another.
He got more time than Harvey.
Well, not necessarily.
Okay.
So he got convicted for racketeering in New York. And then he got convicted in Chicago. However, the lawyers say it's a win because it's going to be concurrent. So what that means that he got 20 years in New York, I guess 20 years, let's just say, in Chicago. However, it's going to be running concurrently. So it's not 20 years plus another 20 years. I think he got 20 years plus an extra year added on. So in essence, it's not back to back. They're doing it all together.
Yeah.
And so the lawyer said it's a win. So did he do it?
I mean, he did it, but I was actually just in a private debate about are we, when we judge these people, are we judging them based on social constructs or biology? So what the conversation kind of went into is like, no, it's immoral, it's against God. But no, wait. When does your body tell you you're an adult? So I understand we can say there is scripture, there's things that say, it's better to bring harm on yourself than a child. But if we have these conversations where one person may think more on some feedback, sorry, may think that it's more of a social construct, and the other person is thinking, okay, let's say biology, and they bring up the conversation where young girls knew what they were doing. Then they try to say on the other aspect, no, but you're still a man. I believe as an adult man, you should have responsibility, right? Mm-hmm. But what the conversation brought in, which got me thinking and talking about, was everything in history shows younger women, older male from everything, because younger women were supposed to bear children. They're supposed to do all of this. My only problem with that is that we are under a social construct, and I believe in the social constructs. And I also think that if these older men are not coming to the family saying, I want to marry your 16-year-old daughter, and I want this to be the case. Now, if we bring up R. Kelly, he got consent from Aaliyah's parents. He got consent from a lot of those people's parents to have sex with those girls. If we look at the 16 or 15-year-old today, would the 16 and 15-year-old today want to sleep with Little Bow Wow? Want to sleep with Chris Brown?
Absolutely.
She absolutely would, because the same way she want to sleep with the little boys at the school, except Chris Brown is Chris Brown, right? So then the question came about, at what age are you responsible for your own sins? Well, we can go all the way. If you subscribe to religion, it's around 12, 13. When does a little girl become a woman? When she gets her period. When does a little boy become a man based on bar mitzvahs? Around 12 or 13. So if are we going off of social constructs that tell us you're old enough to, these are young minds and they're not developed? Well, if we go down your history, TJ's history and mine, what age were they getting married? Our grandmother at 14 was a lot different than a 14-year-old today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Going back, you know,
a lot less mature though.
But what makes you mature?
Well, I think a lot of things. So our grandparents, they weren't going to college. They were going to work at 9, 10 years old, working the fields, taking care of families. So at 13, they were taking a 13-year-old child was taking care of younger siblings at 8, 9. So they had more responsibilities. They were working. My grandmother stopped going to school in the 5th grade because she had to work. And so now we have the luxury of not having to mature so much because our parents are taking care of us. And I'm just have to worry about school. I don't have to worry about tending the yard or paying bills at 13. But I think when we talk about religion, as far as particularly Christianity, what it says is that, you know, give Caesar's what is his, which is there's still authority in government. And so we are bound by laws. Exactly. So my Bible is, what does the law state? And, you know, with Aaliyah, there's not, I guess, a law that was broken if her parents signed for it. Well, no, she lied about her age though.
But also the reason why this was my pushback, I got everything for it. So my pushback with it is, if you're in a state that says the age of consent is this, then you are operating within the law, right?
Correct.
So, but you have the dynamic where if your 18-year-old daughter goes to college and she sleeps with a professor that's 40 something, you'll call him a petty. But she's legal. And she's been a woman since she got her period. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when we really having these conversations about what's right or wrong, we're going off of morally. And I'm also going off the fact that I don't care how old she is. If I take care of her, you need to die if you do something to my kid. You know what I'm saying? But let me take my emotions out of it. I'm trying to think about the actual way of it going. When we think of historically or other cultures, younger girls go with older men. Right now, I'm not saying a 60-something-year-old man, but if he was a man of resource, whatever, he might want another wife. She might be 16. If you go to Southern traditions, they slept and they kept their ancestry within each other. You know, a lot of little things that happen, which we can see the results of that. Maybe the kid may come up with a birth defect. A lot of things that kind of tell you that that's not what you should do. But nothing in history supports sleeping with underage girls in a sense for just sexual gratification. Anytime that they chose a younger girl, it was for the constitution of marriage and to mold them. Because if we look at everything, even in entertainment, Beyonce was young, Rashida was young. I think Rashida started dating Kurt when she was 16 and he was like 25. When we talk about Tyga and Kylie Jenner, these things aren't looked the other way because it's, oh, you're a pedophile. I honestly think it's because some people operate under a different belief that she's grown, or like you just said, mature. R.Kelly tried to say these girls are mature and all this type of stuff. But R.Kelly wasn't actually taking nobody to be his wife, like you mentioned, Marcus Houston. So can we compare them? And if Marcus Houston operates from a belief of this is my religion, can he still be judged based on your own belief? You kind of get what I'm saying? Like, how do you judge this?
Well, you can talk about it morally, but then it's at the end of the day, it's what's legal. And with Marcus Houston, if he knew his wife when she was 11 and he was 30, you know, I mean, that's questionable.
That
So
means
are
he
you,
knew
and that's when
parent
it comes
too.
to grooming. And we know the whole idea is grooming is that you have a child, you make them feel very comfortable around you and trust you and get them to talking and be vulnerable to you for you to take advantage of. Now, did he take advantage of her? I mean, he married her. They have a child or a child on the way. So, you know, I can see it on both ends, you know, because we could say, well, he didn't do anything since he was 18, but
if you waiting around, that's sick. You know what I'm saying?
It's weird. Just think about your daughter. If someone's looking at her at 10 years old and gotta wait till she 18.
But see, we know since we was younger who were pedophiles, I believe. Like if there was no law, I think men would be alarmed at how many men really like younger girls. Because I can remember, I'm sure y'all all had to walk home from school.
Oh yeah.
What age was the man that honked and pulled over? They know I damn well I got pigtails in the backpack.
Yeah. You're right.
And they pull over and you get scared. So I look at it like, is it something that men try to fight? You know what I'm saying? But then you meet the men that don't think like that. But then I remember, and I've been around a lot of different people that said certain things when you were younger. And now you older. Now you have daughters. Y'all both have daughters. We all have daughters up here. Imagine you had a guy friend that's just your guy friend. But you don't know if he's looking at your daughter, waiting on her to get grown. And then it's like, oh, well, she's legal now. You can't say nothing. Is he not a pedophile? Yeah, because you've been looking and waiting until it's legal.
You was thinking about it, yeah.
You know, so I always think, is it the intent?
Well, look at here, though. And that's what we were talking about with the Brat. Why it's important, again, that your daughter has a father or a connection with their dad. Because a dad, I know, can sense out some intentions on other men, just like women can sense out intentions of women. Like, I don't have to hear her say nothing. I can look and feel and be like, no, she trifling. No, something ain't right. You know, we have those things. I think men do too. So, you know, again, I think it's all by design when we have children. And again, the best situation for them is going to be two parents under one roof, because I don't have to worry about the man that I'm dating. It's her daddy. Usually. You know, we live in a sick world. So, but usually. But I don't have to worry about me dating and him looking at my daughter as if she, you know, I don't have to worry about that. And again, and that's why, again, the way God designed it, I believe he designed it in all those. I think he designed it the way it's supposed to be. And as a parent, I shouldn't have to worry about a guy that I'm dating looking at her, but I have to because I'm not married to the father of my child. So, and then that is a whole situation.
Girl, it could be the father of your child. Like, that's how crazy.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said it should be, but in general,
black households. Yeah. So
in general,
not just black, honey.
No, I said especially.
Oh
no, it's all these households. Yeah. So, and someone else that just got sentenced again is Harvey Weinstein.
Oprah's best friend.
Oprah buddy. He was buddy with a lot of people. So he's most likely will be spending the rest of his life in prison after LA sentence. Harvey Weinstein was sentenced to 16 more years in prison by a Los Angeles judge. He was convicted there in December on 3 charges of rape and sexual assault. Separately, the 70-year-old is already serving a 23-year prison sentence for rape and sexual assault in New York. Now, I didn't read where it said it was concurrent. So if it's not concurrent, that means it's added on an additional 16 plus the 23. So what is that? 39 years in prison. So that's pretty much a life sentence for him. He's 70.
He's 70. It's a wrap.
Yeah. So, his allegations back in 2017 started the hashtag, the Me Too movement. And this is what really got him convicted. What are your thoughts on Harvey Weinstein? And is the Me Too movement still needed?
I think the Me Too movement is definitely needed because it gives the women a voice. Like, the thing I've heard about it is you get more confidence to speak about it once you know you're not up there alone, because then they'll rip you to shreds. Once you start speaking about your experience as a victim, instantly it turns into you having to prove that you're a victim versus the other person having to prove that they did not victimize you. So then when you get up there in a situation, they're going to shred everything apart. Well, what were you wearing? So you didn't know when he went this. You didn't know that men like this. You didn't know that when you said this. Well, yeah, you was pushing away, but did you say no? Did you push hard enough? It just goes and breaks you down. And then you start thinking well, they don't even understand that when you're in these situations and you know you can't get out of, sometimes it's easier to just lay there and let the inevitable happen and fight after the fact. Maybe I did want to do it until he said something that made me uncomfortable. Maybe I wasn't, in his case, maybe I wasn't given the opportunity because I'm thinking he's this big time person, but he likes it like this. Maybe I agreed to sleep with you, but maybe you get off more if I'm more on a date rape drug or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, scratch the R word. But I'm just saying some people have different things. So I think Me Too movement is important because a lot of women get the confidence to speak up once they know they're not alone. And then it makes your case more substantial and more concrete versus you going against a multimillionaire. But if it's 15 of us that he's done this to with similar stories and we don't know each other, it makes our case more credible against him. So I think Me Too is important. I just think that you have a lot of women who are lying, claiming Me Too just for the attention. And I also disagree with, if this happened to you over 30 some years ago, why do y'all keep waiting to these men on their deathbed to come say something? At this point, go to counseling, talk to whoever. If you were trying to seek justice, it was probably easier to do it sooner. But that's me also not being sensitive to the fact that they're victims. But I just be thinking, like with the Bill Cosby, like y'all had so many, he about to die, and y'all come forward. It's just like, go speak to somebody if it's that serious. At this point, you just looking for attention because you could have spoke to somebody to get help. So that's what I think.
Yeah. TJ, I want to get your opinion, but let me play this about his convictions. Just make sure I'm saying it correctly.
And has been sentenced to an additional 16 years in prison. Weinstein is already serving 23 years for his conviction in a New York rape case. He pled not guilty in both trials. NBC News correspondent Steve Patterson tracking this for us from our LA bureau today. So, Steve, remind us what these Los Angeles charges were about, what this case was about, and what happened in court today.
Yeah, essentially what happened in court today, Aaron, is that Harvey Weinstein, a 70-year-old man in very poor health, just found out that he'll be spending the rest of his natural life behind bars. This was a 2-month trial, the one in LA. It wrapped up in December. 10 days was what the jury took to deliberate, and what they came back with was what the sentence that was delivered today. Started actually with 4 women accusers, 4 Jane Does, so to speak. 2 of 4, Jane Does 2 through 4, essentially either had mistrials because of hung juries, or Weinstein was acquitted of accusations from one, but it only took the accusations of one woman, so-called Jane Doe number 1. We won't name them, obviously, due to the crimes, but she was alleging 1 rape and 2 counts of sexual assault. Weinstein found guilty on all 3 of those counts, and the counts came out to the sentence that was delivered today. Weinstein did speak in court today, again, sort of defending his position, saying that he did not rape a woman, he did not sexually assault this woman, and that these accusations were false. But the woman who was being named in this case was sobbing as he gave that testimony. She then testified to say that no amount of sentence, no amount of accusations, no amount of charges will give her her life back.
What are your thoughts, TJ?
Well, I'm looking at some of the comments really quickly. This is, men are not helping women because of the Me Too movement. And somebody wrote, I think DAP HDH says the Me Too movement also has become oversaturated, which is why men are not approaching women anymore. I understand that. I know some cases benefit from it. I think both are true at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very necessary to have a Me Too movement, which requires investigation, not just taking the allegation as fact, but requires investigation. And I agree with Lucky, if you're waiting 20, 30 plus years, I really had a problem with Bill Cosby because I'm thinking, where's the evidence? How do you prove that? And then what about the statutes of limitations? So I grapple with it. I'm not saying that he did or didn't, but I'm thinking, why wouldn't you do something before now?
Right.
So, and I'll just use myself an example. That was kind of tearing up. I believe it is necessary because many of these women, as it related to Bill, if you want to use Bill Cosby, if you want to use Harvey Weinstein, and if you want to use R.Kelly, these men took advantage of young girls and women who saw them as the answer to realizing their careers and felt that they had to do those things. When I was a teenager, I wanted to be a singer. And there was this man who was in the industry, and he heard me sing, and he said that he wanted to have some people come over to hear me sing. And I went over there, and part of it, is definitely my fault because I should have told my mom, but I didn't. So I went over there waiting for the people to come, and they never came. And this individual groped me and I got away, but I felt so ashamed, so embarrassed, so stupid. So there are men that prey on young girls and young women because they know that that they see them as the go-between. And even when I was an adult in ROTC with my daughter, the man who could make the decision whether or not I would get commissioned as an officer, he didn't touch me, but he started making inferences and saying things that were inappropriate. So because I had that previous experience as a teenager, I knew I was never going to be in a room by myself with that person, ever, because of the things that he had said, but I couldn't tell anybody. Because that man had he could make the decision whether or not I got my commission or not, and I needed my commission because I had to raise and take care of my daughter. So it is very necessary. I need to go get my face together.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing that, TJ.
Yeah, thank you, TJ. Ooh. I know I've been in situations, especially being younger and naive and thinking that, someone had my best interest at heart and not being smart enough to know better. And a lot of girls, even though they look like adults and they got the big breast and the butts and they over-sexualize themselves, their mentality is still of a child. And, I think this goes back to what we were talking about with R.Kelly and, morality. These kids, even like the 20-year-olds, and when you hear a 20, 25-year-old speaking, you can't it's like they not.
We're kept, that's why I mentioned the time frame. We're kept childish.
Yeah.
Your 16-year-old to be mature and aware of a lot of things is going to be based off how Courtney Michelle prepares her. We are now conditioning not to prepare young girls and young boys that these are the reality of experiences when you leave the house, or based on who I invite into my home, who I don't even know could be like that. So now you have to expose them to reality, because there's no way that we can say, oh, she was young. These girls know that I'm talking about the R.Kelly, not you know
Right.
what I'm saying. Even if they were starstruck, oh, he fine, whatever. We know the immaturity behind using their bodies, are responding to biology, like I'm saying. But your mind, like you're saying, is not even caught up to understand the responsibility and what is actually going on. Until now you're a grown woman and you're regretting your fast ass decisions, if that's the case from how we talk about the R. Kelly situation. Now, I like to separate it from the Harvey Weinsteins of the world because, like TJ expressed, you deliberately prayed. Well, no, it's actually not separate because some of R. Kelly's victims thought that they were going to be singers. So it's like you really prayed on the fact that they know between you and their dream is you signing it or giving them a letter of recommendation, you giving them a meeting. And I want to say what we can go off of that's consistent is when it comes to women, we can go to Dorothy Dandridge. How did Dorothy Dandridge feel like she can get those roles? She had to sleep with men that looked like Harvey Weinstein and Donald Trump. If we go to Marilyn Monroe, if we go to anything in entertainment, even with men, they are doing things sexually. These men in these positions who are called gatekeepers keep a position where I got something you want. Now, how bad do you want it? Even court photographers. I have a cousin who was try to be a model and different things, took the bad route because the photographer wanted to take certain pictures, kept certain edits, and hung it over her head as blackmail. You know what I'm saying? So anytime a man has a particular position that a woman wants to be a star in or anything of that sort, they're going to use that power to abuse it. And some women do it as well. It's just not talked about as much. You know what I'm saying?
You know, when I lived in Atlanta, I was trying my best to do PR, and I was trying to work with an R&B group that is hot in these streets. And I, put in my resume and was doing volunteer work. And then one of the group members' cousins was like, well, we're here and show up here. And I'm thinking, yeah, okay, this is about to pop off. And then there was one evening where he told me, he was like, Courtney, I'm going to be real with you. Like, I could get you a job with this group to be working and help with PR, blah, 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 blah. However, if you want this, you got to sleep with me. I want to be with you. And in order for you to get this job, you got to sleep with me. And this was a conversation. And he told me that. Now I was in my late 20s when this conversation was had. And he looked like the bottom of my foot. And so it was very easy for me to say, hell no. But, it did cross my mind in my 20s. I was like, man, if I work with this group, I'll be paid. And I'm thinking the glitz and the glamour. But he told me that if you want to work with them, you got to have to sleep with me. Obviously, I didn't. I didn't work with nobody. But I was like, wow, like the casting couch is real, especially in the music industry. And then they do prey on girls that they want. If you want the job, you won't have to sleep with me.
Boys, men too. You don't think these young men, these artists are on drugs just because I'm of the belief, and this is all alleged, but I'm of the belief we don't know what demons they sit there with when they grab those trophies and know that I'm a man and I got on my knees.
Listen,
trophy.
These artists are on drugs, all kind of drugs, high because of the things they have to do to get there. And the only way that some of these people are able to do this stuff is to get high, just like stripping. These women are high. They're not sober stripping because, it's what God, he ain't make you to do that. It's not comfortable. It's not what you're supposed to be doing. So I got to get high. I got to do drugs to be able to do that. And you know who's told me also when living in Atlanta? A lot of gay men told me that. A lot of gay men told me that they were attracted to men, but in order for them to really have sex with a man, they had to be high.
I swear, it's like using this conversation before I hit the link. I was just sitting up here saying, they were like, well, how do you know what's right or wrong without the Bible? Well, I believe, no one has to believe nowhere else, but I believe we were given instincts and a conscience. Absolutely. And my first encounter with a woman, I didn't know anything about no scripture. I didn't know, but I didn't. It wasn't that it wasn't accepted, because it was very accepted in my family. It was uncomfortable because it is not normal and it was against my nature. So I had to do it quite a few times to fit whether it felt good and all of that. But it's confusion because it feels good, but it feels wrong. So it's just like adultery. Feels good, but once
But
it's
you
out
know
in the
what
open,
you're doing is
everybody know it
wrong.
ain't that. Yeah, so it's definitely a discomforting feeling. And I'm of the belief that I think it has something to do with your conscience that you're given naturally, or the instincts and things like that that kind of shape us to understand what's uncomfortable. Now, one may argue the only reason why you think it's uncomfortable is because society, and that could be the case. But I'm just of the belief that anything that goes against natural nature is already going to feel uncomfortable because it's not normal. Just me personally, in my experience with a woman.
And I wholeheartedly agree with you. So going back to Harvey Weinstein, I was like, is Harvey Weinstein just like R. Kelly? Is he still getting paid? Because Harvey Weinstein, I don't know if people really know how big of a mogul Harvey Weinstein is, because he does everything in the back. He's not up front with it. He's not an actor. So everything that he has wrote, executive produced is all in the back. So you know how I'd like to dig up my stuff. So first thing that I found out, okay, is Harvey Weinstein still making money every time that you watch one of his movies? Despite the fact that Weinstein left Miramax in 2005. You guys familiar with Miramax?
The film production company.
It's Miramax Studios.
Yeah.
Okay, let me read this and then I want to go back. Okay, and was fired from Weinstein Company in 2017. Experts believe he's still making money as a profit participant in every movie where he's credited as producer or executive producer. According to IMDb, Harvey Weinstein has 330 producer credits, 4 acting credits, two writing credits, and a few more under his department. He's over 300 movies this man has done. I was like, wow, Harvey. Miramax. You don't remember seeing this when the movie comes on?
Absolutely. In the 90s. I ain't seen it in so long.
You haven't seen it in so long. Miramax, this was founded by Harvey Weinstein and his brother. Miramax is a combination of a name between his mom and his dad. His mom is Mary, his dad is Max. That's where he gets Miramax. Who knew? I know.
Miramax is behind a lot of little girls, apparently.
Wow.
Listen. So this was his company that he created back in December 19, 1979. This was him. This will tell you how huge he was. So any movie that came out with Miramax Films was his production. Now it has been sold. 2022 BN Media Group owns half of Miramax and Paramount owns the other half. However, he still gets royalties from the movies that he made previously. And that's over 300 movies, and this is under Miramax. So whenever you guys watch a movie of Miramax, it's Harvey Weinstein. Wow, I was like, what?
So why aren't they everybody got an iPhone up here. When you go to music, R.Kelly stuff is slowly starting to be removed. Why aren't we doing the same thing with this man's movie?
I thought it was supposed to be removed altogether, but now if you go on Apple Music, his catalog is still on there.
Oh, okay, because I know some songs. I'm like, why can't I find this song? I know YouTube took them down, unless they're trying to put them back up. Because sometimes it'd be a moment when they take stuff down. But I've never seen no wave of them removing Miramax films.
Yeah. Let me go over this. Thank you, Eugene, Dr. Steele. From this conversation, I learned that the worst thing is not always the celebrities or public figures. The worst things happen behind the scenes, and these are facts. That good old casting couch. So, what are some of the movies from Miramax? Harvey Weinstein. Some of these I'm not familiar with.
Damn girl, I ain't seen not one up there.
But these are like it has the year underneath them because some of these are a little bit older. But let me see. The Paddington Bear one. I remember seeing that one. Burnt,
The Hateful Eight.
Do you remember that? Okay, the co-founder with that McDonald's one.
Mm-hmm. I didn't go see it, but I remember when it came out.
I remember that. That's on Netflix. So again, these stuff is still streaming. All right, let's look at the Maryland one. I remember that one.
Not Django. They're not taking Django.
Fruitville Station.
Scary. Oh my gosh.
That's
the Butler.
The Butler. Mandela.
Wow.
Piranha B was trash, so they can get rid of that.
This is
Scary Movie. We all like Scary Movie too.
Yeah.
Okay, Dark Sky. Okay, Janky Promoters.
Janky Promoters. And this is, like I said, some
Halloween.
that I saw the reader.
Okay.
So Kill Bill, that's one of my favorite movies.
Girl,
Volume 1 and
me
Volume 2.
too.
That's Miramax.
Wow.
And you know what's interesting, because I read that Quentin Tarantino said a few years ago that he knew about Harvey Weinstein and he didn't speak up. So again, they all knew. And he said, I quote, "Yeah, I knew about some of the stuff about Harvey Weinstein. I just didn't make a fuss about it."
Mm-hmm. Just like R.Kelly, they knew. These people shut up because they like to be around them. It's just like Jeffree Epstein. He didn't get murdered because of nothing. He was about to talk. Every time I just want one person to talk. Like, risk your life for it. Okay, tell us and expose it all. Because the thing about it is, like, we talking about secret societies. These people with money in Hollywood, they make sure you don't say ish. They know the police. They know the SWAT. They the government. You know what I'm saying? Like, they all in cahoots. So it's like movies tell us what the government is trying to say. Everything kind of just sticks together under one thing, and it keeps us in this program loop. So it's kind of like we can know it. So what if you know? Can you prove it? And if you try, you're gonna end up like Jeffree.
Yeah.
You're gonna have, because the other lady was
even in one of my favorite movies, A Few Good Men, it's not what I know, it's what I can prove.
Oh, Law Abiding Citizen?
No, that's A Few Good Men. When Tom Cruise is playing the lawyer. It's not what I know, it's what I can prove.
That's what it is.
And that's very true. And
like these are just a few girls that they can prove.
Well, some of the stuff that happened, this again, just like with Bill Cosby, was a long time ago. And some of the women, I was like, girl, some of the women was like, yeah, he sexually assaulted me because he came in my room and he gave oral sex to me. And I felt assaulted. And I was like, girl, I'm trying. It was a few of them that I felt he assaulted me because I let him in my apartment and he had the audacity to eat my.
Maybe it was bad.
Say what?
What? So you brought up a good point. Imagine how many women are claiming assault because they wasn't satisfied.
Look, I believe. I believe that some of this is true. Okay, I believe that he used his power over women. I believe there was a casting couch. You can't prove me no different. That he said, if you want this role, you got to slob on my knob. I couldn't attest to that.
Y'all know I'm asking. Would you do that for a particular position?
Would I slob on a Harvey Weinstein knob?
Would you sleep with a person? Because we can look at Harvey.
Say what?
If Harvey Weinstein was Denzel Washington, and you wanted to be his main character, and he said, "You know what, Court? I just used him. You look good, whatever. I would love to do this movie, and he make a pass at you. Would you sleep with Denzel for a role, or does it matter what they look like? Because you got."
Well, I told you my story about the R&B, and I'll say the R&B. It was Jagged Edge.
Girl, I love Jagged Edge.
It was Jagged Edge.
Me too.
I was trying to work with Jagged Edge years ago, and one of their little cousins was trying to get, and I didn't sleep with him. And it was Jagged Edge.
You're not even a member, and you trying to sleep with me?
Not even a member. But then it's okay. What if it was one of the members?
That's what I'm asking. Because
Well,
let's be honest, people be posing questions for the craziest shit. Would you do this for $1 million? Would you do this? They be like,
and,
yeah. So you wouldn't sleep with a celebrity for a role in a movie?
Okay, I'm sure y'all want. I'm sorry. I'm sure y'all
Depends on who it is. Depends on who it is.
I used to be fine, and and again, particularly in my years pre-K, meaning pre-kid, I was in LA. Worked for entertainment lawyers and went to a lot of entertainment things and had the opportunity, but I didn't because I just couldn't. And again, my friend reminded me when Houdini came. Y'all remember Houdini,
the rapper?
Yes, when Houdini, which was the one with the wore the hat.
I don't know. I was born
with the light eyes, but anyway, he came to OU one time, and I had the opportunity. I couldn't, and I was fine, and he was too. But I just because of
See, that's why I said I believe there's some people there's no amount of money to make them do things they wouldn't do. I'm just saying if I can entertain a thought where they said, "Lucky, would you sleep with T.I. for $1 million?" I might joke back and say I would sleep with T.I. for free because he fine, right? We think that type of stuff. So it's like to think that if a fine man, like who is a popular one? I love Shamar Moore. And you already are sexually attracted to the man. And he's saying, I'll get you this position. If you sleep with me, you already want to sleep with him. Don't be trying to call on God now.
Yeah.
I mean, was an ecstasy.
Well, there's a meme that says, depending on who he is whether it's a compliment or it's harassment,
yeah.
Which is true. If Harvey is come in and be like, "Courtney, you fine?" I'm like, "Okay, thank you." But if somebody else is like, "Courtney, you fine?" I'm like, "Oh, we kind of thirsty."
Me too.
I mean, it's he thirsty as hell, lady. Like Courtney, he just said you was cute. It's the way he looked.
Right.
But that's is that true? That does happen.
Harvey Weinstein looked like a creepy old man.
Harvey Weinstein, and I know one of his biggest actresses that came out was Rose McGowan. Then it was Selma Hayek, who said that he threatened her life, threatened to kill her if she didn't pop, lock, and drop it for him. So but then I look, Selma Hayek, have y'all seen her husband? And she would have pop, lock, and drop it because their husband looked like a Harvey Weinstein.
Girl, if he looked like Ghost from Power, a lot of girls would be like, they'd be fighting the other girl. No, girl, because he's sleeping with me too. I'm his girlfriend. He just came in here and robbed me of this good coochie, and he just ate it without my permission. They're not gonna be saying, "Oh, I did not know that Amari Hartwick would do this." They're gonna be bragging. Okay, it's how he look. Most of the victim. It's how Harvey look.
It's the pretty privilege, the handsome privilege, and a man that looks good can get away with a whole lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff,
and that goes with the women. Women can get a lot, get through a lot, or because they're pretty.
So would you say it's us that sends the mixed signals that men can't pick up as to what exactly is assault versus what's not? Because if we can say, we can all agree unanimously what we might do for a certain dollar amount, whether we would publicly tell people or not, no different than these celebrities. Because let's say you are a male singer and you've already gotten a taste of fame, right? And this is your one deal to go to this mansion party. Your mother is sick, have medical bills, maybe your brother needs to go to college, whatever your financial situation with your family. And you could be thinking, as long as I do this, I can get this with my family. Now you have to sleep with a woman. I think more male singers would say, okay, I'll sleep with the woman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when now it's a man and he attracted to chocolate little young boys, that's a different level of humiliation. And now you're thinking, okay, what would I really do for a dollar amount? So that's what I'm saying. It's no different than we having these fun conversations. We send mixed signals as women.
P. Diddy. Okay, when Jaguar Wright came out and said that Christopher Williams, and Lucky, I don't know if you know who that is, but back in the day, Christopher Williams was, okay. When I tell you Christopher Williams is come up, I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming about you. Ooh, I said you dreamed about me, Christopher. Because I'm dreaming about you, Christopher.
And girls was screaming.
Oh, he was a beaut. Let me see if I can pull. Oh, if I pull up his before and after, it's sad. But Jaguar Wright said that, you know, in order for him to get his deal, he had to slob on the knob of Diddy. And that I think, I don't want to misquote it, but I think that she said, or either she or somebody walked in while he was on his knees. I said, not my Christopher.
Well, see, Diddy has a
not Kareem Akbar from New Jack City. Kareem.
Oh, that's him?
Akbar. Yes, that beautiful man, Kareem Akbar.
Well, everybody do something strange for a little piece of change.
I think he was like engaged or married or dating like Holly Berry back in the day. Like he was a sight for sore eyes.
Well, that's just like with Eddie Murphy and what's his name, Johnny Gill. Y'all ever heard of?
They did say that about Johnny Gill.
What's her name? Tisha Campbell's husband,
Dwayne Martin and Will Smith.
Yeah, we know Will Smith get all the dudes. Okay, him and Eddie Murphy, and can't nobody Eddie Murphy get fine women. Okay,
and don't Jamie Foxx. You know there was so many newspapers back in the day about Jamie Foxx having basketball games at his house where all the men had to wear Speedos. Did y'all read that? This was back in the day.
What? No.
He had all male parties. This allegedly.
Yeah.
And he said, in order for y'all come over and play basketball, but you got to be in your Speedos.
Rick Ross too. Oh my goodness.
Oh. Let's say what?
Oh, right. See, I don't know.
Say what?
Yeah. That's right, Lionel.
Yeah, that's why I think everybody shouldn't have a price, because when situations seriously happen like this, like it takes us joking conversations about, would you do this for some money? Would you? And I'll be thinking like, I don't really want to judge them, but then in the situation, I don't think I could do it. Like I think I would feel like, imagine being in a situation where you think it's because of your talent, and my talent is not good enough. Like I still got to do something humiliating. Now, I'm of the belief, this is what I think. How come when they get to that situation, they don't try to record or act like you're going to do some fellatio and bite it? Like make it a situation where they got to go to court.
I don't know.
Oh, him, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's Christopher Williams, baby.
No.
It was
this
is when light-skinned men was still a thing, right?
Like
it was him,
what you mean when they was?
And I'll be sure. Okay, this was the dynamic light-skinned curly hair duo.
And they looked like sweetness to a man who
he had the deep voice and would don't wake me. Like he had that deep brusque voice, so manly.
That men like, that's what I'm saying.
And then that's what they said that he gave it to Diddy. And I said not my Christopher Williams.
Diddy been anybody over? Look, I'm Diddy.
Have y'all seen what he looks like recently?
No, don't press up my head. Like, go ahead and show us.
Oh Lord.
All right. He was grown when he slept with Diddy, right?
Yeah, he was a grown man.
Okay. This was a choice. Okay.
Now, you know.
Right, Tommy? She said we light-skinned men was still a thing.
Well, you know, after, let me tell you when it stopped, okay? Because everybody wanted light-skinned curly hair man. They did. And then once Wesley Snipes stabbed who'd he stab in the hand? Said, sit your $5 ass down before I make some change. Oh, after he did that, it was like, no.
You cannot say Wesley Snipes changed
the game. Are you serious?
Wesley Snipes, are we talking about Tu Wong Fu?
This is before Tu Wong Fu.
Exactly. So it changed it when he did Tu
He
Wong
changed
Fu.
New Jack City, changed the dynamic of light-skinned men and dark-skinned men, because the light-skinned men, you had Alan Payne, who
Yes.
turned out to be on crack and got punked and killed by Wesley Snipes, and then Kareem Akbar.
But Genuine was he relevant in that time? Because
No, this was like the early 90s.
Okay,
Years
so
later.
never mind.
And
I
that's,
came
and
later.
then they've been trying to make a comeback. That's when then Shamar Moore popped up, and then and they tried, but it was they still on the light skinned men still struggling. I'm not even gonna lie, y'all.
R.Kelly is dark, so this stay ill.
Okay, let me pull up. Oh,
dang!
I'm sorry, Christopher Williams. I don't. Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh. Well,
now,
but that, I mean,
bad picture, but he looks bad now.
Well, I can see why you say that, because it doesn't seem like he aged gracefully like Smokey Robinson.
No.
But see, okay, this kind of goes into what I was saying about them being on drugs. Like, we don't know what demons they have to fight with or live with that they constantly are reliving in their heads. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, I don't know. I'll pass it.
The drugs. And so if Christopher Williams on he's on like TV One, like how they have the unsung, and that's when I saw him again. I was like, oh, not Kareem. So I don't know if he's on drugs or not. That picture says that something's going on. Okay, stress, something. But if that story is true about Diddy, I'm sure that weighs on his head, because to get down on the knee, and this is what I heard too, Lucky, I'm sure you have too, is that these men of power purposely will tell other men to get on their knees and stick their penis.
Humiliation.
It's a humiliation ritual. It's you gonna suck and look at them and laugh at them.
But let's talk about the fetish that can we agree that most men in the positions of power are Caucasian?
Yes.
Or the J word ish.
Yes.
Okay.
Harvey Weinstein.
Okay. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Can we also agree, based on our history, that these groups of men have had a sexual fetish for Black men?
I have read that.
Even butt. I mean, where do we know to emasculate a Black man in front of his family? What do? They're not going to suck his dick. You know what I'm saying? They want him to do it to them, and I need to humiliate you and emasculate you to dominate you. When I want to come take a village of women, I have to R them with dominance. Okay, so in an industry, I just think it ain't even just that. I think these men have sexual fetishes with Black men, especially talented Black men, kind of like Get Out. I'm obsessed with your genetic makeup. You know what I'm saying? Your ability to just be strong. The fact that statistics and science cannot prove that Black men are not strong in this, that, and the other. We're just good at stuff. Y'all invent stuff. Y'all are created and designed differently than the other species. The envy turns sexual real quick. So I think this is a way to exercise your sexual attractions for these same celebrities us women could see and be like, oh, he fine. You don't think when they get them at a young age, like Justin Bieber is one thing, but with Lil Bow Wow, with Jermaine Dupri, because Criss Cross talked about with Jermaine Dupri as well. But you don't think when they get into these positions, they have this attraction for young Black men?
Yeah.
I think it's a sexual fetish.
Yeah, and OG Patrice is absolutely right. But Clive Davis is a known homosexual. He just came out.
Wait, is that the Motown dude? Sorry, I got to let me
know. No, he's the one that found Mariah Carey.
No, Whitney Houston.
But Mariah Carey too.
Oh yeah, okay.
Clive Davis.
Okay.
But
Kevin Campbell,
Motown, because he's like that too.
Barry Gordy.
The Jackson 5s. Yeah.
Barry Gordy. But he was with
allegedly.
Well, talking about Black men and being fetishized, what is the word? Cockled? Have you heard of that?
It sounds nasty. And
don't ask me how I know. But it is a thing. It's where, you know, women that are married, white couples, get a black man, and a white man wants to see his wife getting banged out by a black man.
Oh yeah, that's
I mean,
common.
is it cuckold?
Oh, I didn't know how to name for it.
Mandingo.
What is that? Oh, I knew somebody knew. I knew it was
Hi,
some freaks in the
Steven.
chat.
Yeah.
Right. And so it is a thing. There is so many YouTube stuff about it when these couples are on there and men are saying, yeah, I just wanted my wife to be with a black man. And it's a thing. And it's the fetishizing of these married couples that are men wanting to see
a black man dominate his
bang
wife.
out his wife.
That is a thing. Do you guys watch All the Queen's Men?
I'm on like season 1.
Okay, so I just got past season 1.
Yeah.
Well, for the people who don't watch, it's with Eva Pickford. I really wish it was with someone else because it's a great show, but it's very Tyler Perry-ish.
Mm-hmm.
But she has strippers, male strippers, who get paid extra money, and they're very attractive. But one of the couples, it was a black lady and a white husband. They paid one of her dancers $10,000 so that the husband could masturbate while he watched his wife sleep with the other stripper. Now, the stripper wasn't homosexual, so he had to bring another one in. But I said that to say that's common, and a lot of men who say they won't do it turn the other cheek and actually do it because they're paying big money to have you do something like that. So that really is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where they're putting it in movies.
So it's a thing. You don't gotta Google the cuckold, but that's a big thing. I didn't know, and I was like, why would a man want another man to bang his wife? But
well, people have threesomes with women, so some people want to see it with men.
Yeah. All right, so that's what I had for Harvey Weinstein, because I was like, oh well, so he'll be spending his natural life.
Wait, one more. Are any of the girls black with Harvey?
Yes. Lupita said that when she was a film student that she met him and made her very uncomfortable because he was asking her to come back to his room as well too. So she came out and said something about him. So
Lupita is gorgeous too.
Beautiful.
That's what I think the downfall of black people. We so damn fine. Okay. Don't be so original. You gotta think it was that Cat Williams thing when he said they went to Africa and they were so fascinated. We think it's hate, but they like, what's that they have on their backs? Their asses?
That's their butts.
They were so fascinated, and you looking at bland white bread all day, like a board back and ass, and just and then you see these dark, beautiful goddesses with cocoa butter skin, and they come in different shades, and they men just not even hard, but it's longer than mine. You know what I'm saying? And they just dominating, and they don't want to sleep with us.
Say what?
God gave what?
I can't code it. Everything.
Say what?
Hell yeah, they mad as hell. God fell in the Caucasus Mountains, and they said, "Look, them is God's people. Get them." Make them homosexual, butt break them, take their wives because they are too gorgeous over there. And now we sitting up here looking like Lupita in all melanin for a role, and you can act, and you can cry on the drop of a dime, and you sitting in front of me, and you just want to talk about this contract, you dark beauty.
But okay, so how much is it, or is it frustrating to be fetishized about? And I say this to preference because, I've gotten approached by different races of men, and I've gotten approached definitely this white man that I'm speaking about that really liked me. I think he genuinely liked me. And but he would always like compare our skin. He'd be like, Courtney, your skin, look at my skin. Oh, it's so beautiful.
That
And would
cocoa
want to
butter.
hold my hand to see my black hand on his white hand. Like he was just amazed by, or it just turned him on, like my color. And then also was like my lips. And so, at first it was like, oh, okay. And then the cat was like, look, sir, do you know I'm smart? I have conversations. Like, do you want to know me on that part?
I don't care. You're just black. Like
he wanted, but he only dated black women. He was country, guitar. He was a good guy. Shout out, I see you, sir. But it made me feel kind of like I don't want you to be with me because I'm a black woman. I want you to be with me because it's so much to me. But that's even dating. I want to be attractive to my mate, obviously, but I want you to be with me for other reasons instead of wanting to have sex with me.
Because it's just sexual. It's like you're fulfilling my fantasy.
Yeah. And then it's like after then what? You just want to use me up and no, like I want you to want me. And that's
I think the obsession is in different aspects. It comes from I don't think I could be with nobody who just looked at me and wanted to be with me because I'm black. Unless I just wanted to use you. You know what I'm saying? Because if black people took their power and dominated y'all because we knew y'all like us. Like if I'm in behind closed doors and I'm this sexy Idris Elba of a man, right? With an accent that I could turn on and off anytime I choose to. And then I got this white man wanting me to do something. No, you do it to me. You know what I'm saying? You can always flip it, and then you blow the whistle. But I think what happens is that I think some black people like being fantasized and all of that. Like we see it in media. Like when it comes to the things that they do, that black women do, it's what is it? Couture. It's Vogue. It's model-esque. When we do it, it's ratchet, it's ghetto. Why you got all the rings on all your fingers? Why your nails so long? We don't like that, But then when you see it, the witch nail is a thing. The rings on the chains, the bamboo earrings with your names in them is a thing for other people. So I think it's more so about taking what's from us, but they don't really like us. They like the way we look. They like the way, maybe it's sexual, maybe it's the skin shade, but when it comes to actually liking us, that takes a deeper understanding. You know what I'm saying?
Well, okay. So let's give some of us some smoke because when we were talking about the Christopher Williams and the Albie Shores, I mean, it's also fetishizing skin tones. I can't tell you how many times I've heard a black woman say, I want to have a light-skinned baby with good hair. It's fetishizing light-skinned babies. It's not you want a healthy baby. It's I want my baby to look this way. I want my baby to have curly hair. That was a thing. I don't hear it as much as I did back in the day, but it's who wants to what?
We definitely have them.
Yeah.
I mean, you just said when light-skinned men was in.
They were in back.
We participate a lot, but I think it's okay because we like each other. I don't think you would not be with a good light-skinned man because he's light-skinned. I don't think he would be, you know what I'm saying? I think it's different when we do it because there's a sense of humor. We at the cookout. We invented the cookout. When we gotta invite people, now we gotta explain why certain stuff is our lingo on why it's okay for us to be saying this and not them. But I think on a broader aspect, that's why I said it's kind of like the women. We can say it's harassment here and not here. It sends mixed signals to the outside looking in if we don't stand on the same morals by saying it shouldn't matter about the skin shade. We shouldn't sexualize and say, dang, when I see a dark girl, I just want to ooh. It shouldn't be okay for you to say that because you're black. Because if you were white and you said it, you wouldn't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? It would be. So I think we always normalize things and other people think it's okay to look at us the same way because that's just what we say. Because if Meg Thee Stallion can stand up here and say, I'm a badass black bitch, and then a white guy say, you a badass black bitch, you're going to be like,
what you call me?
Yeah. So it's like, make your mind up. Are you okay with this or are you not? Because you
say what?
You can't pick and choose. Yeah.
Okay. What is our next topic?
I'm sorry. Lionel Richie gets me every time. Okay, this is just a sidebar. So when I was younger, a kid, probably like second, third grade, I used to have reoccurring dreams. I don't know what they meant. I've never tried to dig into what my reoccurring dreams was, but I had two. One reoccurring dream that I had was Michael J. Fox used to always drive up to my house in a pink Cadillac. And I always used to be like, why are you here, Michael J. Fox? And he was like, I'm here to come and take you. I used to have that reoccurring dream all the time as a child. Michael J. Fox would show up to my house in a pink Cadillac, and it was a drop top. The other reoccurring dream was of Lionel Richie. And for the longest, I was scared of him. In my dreams, he would chase me up and down the walls in a Hawaiian shirt that was unbuttoned, so his chest was out and he had a hairy chest, trying to come like grab me. And so he would chase me with his hands out with an open shirt. I don't know what that meant, but that was a reoccurring dream that I used to have all the time as a child in the second and third grade. I don't know why I wanted to share that, but those were my nightmares. Michael J.
Was
Fox
it a nightmare?
and
Was it a nightmare, or were you looking at them like, oh, what was that movie where they was like, oh, mommy, he fine? It was some movie where it was a little girl.
It took me a long time to look at Lionel Richie just regular, because I always in the back of my head, I was like,
maybe you've seen a movie, because I couldn't stand Danny Glover after Color Purple, and I'm still having a hard time seeing him in anything because I don't like what he did to Celie. So sometimes maybe stuff where you just
but those two, Michael J. Fox and Lionel Richie, I always had a problem with them. Just sidebar. Anyways, next up, Jeffree Star defends himself after slamming pronoun culture. Are you guys familiar with Jeffree Star?
Yes.
No.
Okay, go ahead, Courtney. I know he said
Jeffree Star is huge. Okay, he has his own makeup line. YouTube, when I tell you YouTube, he probably got like 20 million subscribers. He is one of the biggest influencers as far as with makeup and beauty that's out, period. Now, Jeffree Star, he doesn't claim to be trans at all. He's had so much controversy about himself. He's said some racial stuff that people called him racist. He moved to the wilderness and was killing yak deers and stuff. So people came against him with that. So he's always been in controversy. Now he was in controversy probably a couple years ago, saying that he was dating an NBA player, and then they found
that
out
lady's husband, Courtney.
What'd you say?
Saw that lady's husband.
Right, you remember? Right. So he was were they married, or was he just a little baby daddy?
Oh, he could have been like a little baby daddy.
He could have been a baby daddy. Well, Jeffree Star has always been in some kind of controversy. So now he's found himself in some controversy again, talking about pronouns. And I'll play the clip on what he said that got the people in an uproar.
I'm not into all the other bullshit. I think.
What other bullshit?
The they and them.
Yeah.
And all that extra shit that we added during the pandemic because everyone was so bored on their houses. They just started to make up more and
more stuff.
Yeah. That's where the conservatives like me because I'm just real.
Yeah, you do have a conservative vibe to you.
You're not they and them. You're trans, you're male or you're female.
And you're standing on that.
Get so mad when I say that. How are you a they? What the does that mean? It's stupid is what it is.
Yeah.
But you need someone like me that looks like me to say it. Because if you say it, it turns into you're homophobic. You hate trans people. You hate gays. And it's just how you feel. You don't hate anyone. You just think it's stupid.
Can we clap for him to say this? I approve that message. I stand behind it. I endorse it.
There you go.
Okay. Because he is totally right. You need somebody who looked like them to say. Go ahead, Courtney, because that was a word.
No, go ahead. You can finish
that
up.
was a word. I disagree because it's the they, them. You're making it more complicated than it needs to be because you can't come to terms with what the fuck you are. And it's borderline giving mental issues. Because if I sit up here and I said, you know what? I identify as a bird. And I'll start fucking chirping. And I'll start doing weird shit, sitting in the corner acting like I'm laying eggs and weird shit, whatever. Y'all gonna be like, we need to get her some help. But I can come up to you with a full goatee, beard, dress on, lipstick in your bathroom with a deep voice. I don't even try to go through the hormone, nothing. Just, excuse me, ma'am. That has happened to me. I'm in the bathroom like, you're trying to get to the soap. And it's like, why are you in here? Now I'm wrong if I ask you why you in here, because I don't look at you the way you look at you. So now I gotta be careful what I say, because you look at you crazy. So we gotta come into your world on how you look at you when we don't look. You see, even explaining it is fucking retarded. Just
It's
say
hard.
I'm a gay person and I like the same sex, and sometimes I like to wear dresses, sometimes I don't. That's cool. But trying to get us to call you a they, them, and I'm looking at one person, but I was raised my whole life to say them is more than one person is confusing.
Exactly.
And we have kids. Imagine trying to tell your daughter, she's like, Mom, that's a man. No, that's a them. But it's
like multiple personality disorder.
Right. That's what it is.
That movie Split. Because he had all these different personalities. So again, I'm thinking when you say they, it's plural.
Multiple personalities. What
they do. I literally just asked somebody when we first of all, this sexuality, and I'm aware it was not that long ago. It was at the 80s where it was still in the medical textbook as a mental illness. It ain't that long ago. So if we can determine what's considered a mental illness and what's not, then we have to consider, you have the group of people that says, I was born this way. I've been feeling these urges since a kid. I always say, okay, I won't judge off that. Let's say we can go with the fact that nothing has happened to you. This is what you want. But what about the young kids that experience violence? And I know I've been wanting to kill animals and just kill stuff since I came here. We don't say he identify as a killer. That's what he is. He was a born killer. No, he's crazy. He needs to be locked up. Well, I get there's a different violence. Well, this thing that I'm doing is not violent, but they're not trying to make me okay with what they're doing. They're not trying to change my mindset by calling them something else. That's just what they are. If you are a man who likes to put on dresses, I think it's odd that you want me to call you with them.
Yeah.
Unless you want me to call you girl and him. Is that what it is? You call them them because they're both?
Call them shim. Sorry.
I don't know, y'all. I'm ready to go.
So, and I'm glad OG Patrice talked about yesterday on Black Men Unfiltered. Shout out Black Men Unfiltered. Has had interesting conversation with LGBTQ men and straight men, and it's been an interesting dialogue. Pronouns are pronouns. And in order for you to feel okay about yourself, now you want to change historically what has always been. So now you want to change the English, our wording in the English language to suit you. No, not gonna do it. They is plural.
And then
now, unless you have multiple personalities, which I'm going to tell you right now, I think it's demons. Okay, you got a lot of demons inside of you. They manifest because when the manifestation comes out of a demon, it looks like this. Let's just be honest. There's nothing holy or nothing. These are demons that you speaking with. It's spirits. So you have multiple spirits up in you. It changes how you look, and now you want to refer to they. You not they. You her. You him.
She said all them people in your head.
She. He. Now, if you want to, if you feel like you are a boy, you was born a girl, and she, okay, then all right. But the they and then the zers, the z's, they're saying now it's over 100 different pronouns that the people want to.
Girl, look, I'm sticking to two. He, and her.
Yes.
They,
and
them,
they and them for plural.
It's plural.
It drives me crazy when people say woman and they talking about women. So let alone this. It's just look, Lord, if I did anything, do not leave me behind.
Right. Let me shout out Dane C. Thank you so much. Peace, beautiful ladies. Jeffree Star reminds me of Marilyn Manson. He was a straight man that like cross-dressing as a woman. Jeffree seems like him. Well, yeah. Well,
Marilyn Manson knew he was a man.
Who?
She said Marilyn Manson, right? That's the guy who got his organs taken out so he can suck his own penis.
He knew he was a man, though. He didn't try to tell us he was a woman.
He did.
Yeah, you know.
Oh, they remember that song? He had a song called "Beautiful People." The beautiful. I remember that back in then. That was a hit
He
song.
did it on stage, but that's just like Lady Gaga's. What's that song? It's just because to me she's like the new age Marilyn Manson. She has a song where it was "Born This Way." Born This Way. It's for those people.
Mhm.
So they had different types of people in it. Look at.
Let me say this, and this is again why it's my business, okay? And why we should care and why we should not be silent, because this is all a Pandora's box. If you look at back in the day, there wasn't transgender, it was transsexual, and it was men that cross-dressed. And we knew about it. Again, the movie Tu Wong Fu that Wesley Snipes was in, it was about transsexuals. They cross-dressed. That's been a thing, but now we done opened up the Pandora's box. So now it's not that they're cross-dressing. Now I'm a woman, and now I'm gonna call you a cis woman, which I hate that. You're not gonna call me no cis woman. I'm a whole woman, baby. And just because you feel like a woman, how could you ever feel like something you ain't never been?
Come on, take us to church.
Okay, hello. So no, I'm a woman. You're a man that admires my femininity, my womanesque, and you want to dress like me. Dress like me all you want, but you would never be me. I'm sorry.
There's actually more transsexual women that speak up for actual women, and they actually ask them to not compare them because they're not trying to come over in our lane. They're like, we're trans women. That's what we are. We are not. We understand there's actual women, but we are different women. So they want to be acknowledged as a different type of woman. What do you think?
Listen. Okay. I am a woman. I was born this way.
What is a woman? And sorry, Tommy. Yeah, it was his ribs. I did say organ. But yeah, what is it on Daily Wire? What's the guy that asked the question?
Yeah, Matt Walsh had an amazing documentary about what is a woman. Oh, there was a clip in there. Oh, and shit, I should pull it up. He asked a transgender, it was like, well, what is a woman? And the woman said, well, I don't think a man could really say what a woman is, and it's in my brain, and it's how I feel, and I don't think you, Matt, could really you can't really tell me what a woman is because I feel like it and you wouldn't understand. So he said, well, can you tell me what is a cat? Do you know what a cat is?
He did.
Yeah, you remember that? And he was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be talking about this, and then just left. Because
but did it surprise you when he asked women? Women didn't even have the same answer. He had to ask men, and it was one white guy that said, he asked him something. He said, "It's a woman with a pussy" or something. It was just so funny because it just showed the age range and a difference when you ask a man. Mm-hmm. It is what it is. When you ask women, even a real woman had to second guess the actual answer because of what's going on. We about to be eliminated.
Well, Ketanji Jackson, our Supreme Court judge, had no idea what a woman was. When they asked her, Marsha Blackburn, shout out representative here in Tennessee, asked her, what is a woman? I'm not a biologist, so I don't know what a woman is. Now, mind you, she got 2 daughters. So she said, well, do you mean to tell me that you have no idea what a woman is and you got to be a biologist to tell me what a woman is?
To tell me what you yourself are.
Ma'am, your fallopian tubes will tell you are a woman. Those breasts that grow natural, that period that you get every month until you hit.
How about the chromosomes?
Yeah,
enough.
Because you can have a hysterectomy, you can get your breast cut off, you can get everything removed. But the DNA tells you
never change.
Because there's this thing where it talks about men. Men are designed a certain way, even with their and don't get me. Oh, I was watching this on something, but the lady was breaking down how they could never have enough surgery to come down to feminine structure because biologically men are designed to where their hands and certain things are going to remain the same. They no matter what surgery they have already a physical advantage. Even if you can say, I know men who have small hands, but the DNA, he already has a certain advantage. This is why it's such a big thing that they're coming for women's sports. and the things that are getting women into college, like getting a scholarship, they're not creating their own lane for transgender sports. They're coming into women's lane to take what's from women, and they're men, but they're beating us because biologically it does not matter what you have going on. We can never compete with you biologically because we're designed different. So I don't need your breasts, your BBL, your wig, your makeup to tell me that you're a woman. If biologically, if we were to die and become mummies, when they dig us both up, your DNA say what you are, mine says what I am. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that people can't answer that question. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Because even I watch all these crime shows, and when you have skeletal remains, they can tell based on your skeletal remains if you had the hip structure of a female or a male, even down to the skeletal remains.
That's true.
Leave me alone.
That is
Well,
absolutely.
how do we define a woman today? So if the transgender woman could get the same things, the exterior, the box, right, the packaging comes in, how could we then say, like, well, how can we answer that question as women publicly without being scrutinized? Or, I mean, I don't give a damn about scrutiny, but I'm saying, like, publicly in general, how can a woman today answer that question without bringing up the physical aspect? Because I've heard a man trying to tell me, you ain't no better than me because what if you can't have kids? I'm still a woman. Yeah, but he got his sex change, and my argument was, if a man F you, your vagina, it ain't squirting. Mine is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got juices. That is a butt.
So, you know, I'm working on something. And I have been reading a lot about these sex changes, and particularly transgender women. And there is a lot of reports that no one wants to talk about, of course, where when they have the sex change, the infections that they have and the hole that they have to make, they have to insert things up in it to make a hole because they're trying to heal the hole. But your body looks at it as an open wound. So pus is coming out of that because it's an open wound and it's infection, and it's always trying to close up because it's not supposed to be open. And so there's so many transgender women that are going through these surgeries and are having to go back to back to back because the hole is closing up. The hole has pus and things that are coming out of it, and they don't know why it won't stay open. And it's because your own body is trying to heal itself because that hole is not supposed to be there because you're not a woman. But they're not telling you these stories of the sex changes of these holes, and they're having to go back to back to try to get that hole back open. They don't tell you those stories. Because if you really knew what was going on with sex changes, you would be like, it's mutilation. If anyone's familiar with FGM, female genital mutilation, and what they did back in Africa, where they cut off the clitoris and they sew it up and had the little hole, it's the exact same thing.
But they also have a higher suicide rate. Like there's been a few the ones that have actually done it. They put them on suicide watch because self-mutilation, things that you doing it to yourself, it's like on top of that, you have to go through a whole lot of mental preparation before they even okay the surgery. And it ain't even okay in everywhere. Well, I don't know if it is now, but every state doesn't even recognize it. They can't do it. Sometimes you got to fly to a different place to have it done. So I think this support of the trans community and transgender, from what I understood, was you can't be considered transgender just based on what you feel like. You have to actually go through the surgery. So if you still have a penis, you're a she-male. You're not really, I mean, according to Pornhub, you're a she-male. Okay. So those type of men, they sleep Pornhub. Yes. They still sleep with men and women. You know what I'm saying? And they look like women, kind of like the Caitlyn Jenners when he got a girlfriend. So you're not technically a transgender. You're just a man who likes to look like women, according to if we're going to be technical. But I did want to say, I think the message is kind of aiding their mental illness. And I think it's pretty much coddling them to get to the point where they're trying to convince themselves that I need to go through with this surgery. So this is the last bit of hope for me to feel completed as a woman. And the truth of the matter is you will never feel girl, what is this waving at us? What is this?
So well, this
Courtney,
goes
you
back
gotta
to what you said.
prepare
Are
us.
you guys familiar with Dylan Mulvaney?
What the fuck?
Is that the one that tried to rush a sorority?
Why is he waving?
Is that the one that tried to rush a sorority or something like that?
Dylan Mulvaney is one of the most popular transgender women out right now. I'm lucky I'm left at you, but has chronicled his transition and his how many days of him turning into a woman. And his platform he's gotten sponsorships from tampons, mind you. Okay. Has been awarded a lot of women awards and had the opportunity to go to the White House to talk to President Biden. Dylan Mulvaney has really just blew up. And I wanted to play something for you guys. I mean, I can anything because this is him chronicling himself becoming a woman.
Girl, that was the right one where he said good morning with the shirt off the shoulder.
Oh, I mean, it's just so much. Let me see which one I would have played.
This is hilarious.
Being a girl and we have a situation on our hands.
You guys hear?
No, it's kind of low.
64 of being a girl. These are the differences between Los Angeles and New York City from the perspective of a trans woman. Number one, the men here in New York City are like ready and willing to kiss me, way more so than Los Angeles. And I don't know if there's something in the water, but just all of these men have been like presenting themselves to me, and I haven't taken up any of the offers. But I just think it's like super interesting. Like, what is it about New York that like they're just on the trans Dylan train? I think what I've noticed about LA is that a lot of the guys.
So, and you know, it's for me, it's really like a slap in the face because it's with him transitioning is this is my day one in being a woman, and I'm so emotional today. I must be a woman. That doesn't make
think all women should be offended.
Right, but then if you say you're offended, then you're transphobic.
I guess.
Let's see. Oh, he's wild.
Day 26 of being a girl, and I have a journal entry from me to you.
You still have a beard.
I have been getting quite a few messages from lovely people saying, this must be so hard. I'm sure you're going through a lot, etc. And I cherish every single one. And I respond with, oh, I'm having a great time. All is well here. Well, the honeymoon phase may be over.
I can't. I mean,
okay,
are we not looking at mental illness? I mean, look at this.
Okay, listen, I don't understand.
He wants to be a little girl.
Go ahead, TJ.
The problem that I have in many instances, biological women don't act like this for the most part.
Right.
Unless we're being silly. So what that signifies to me is that you think that we're silly because most women don't act that way.
Mm-hmm.
We're not, well, you know, I really think we don't do that.
We do that if you watch Mean Girls or Clueless and you're trying to replicate to see what a girl is. And this is why I hate when women act like Wendy Williams, because now women are starting to pick up homosexual lingo. Yes, bitch, what? Period. It irritates my life to watch some women of a certain age, all of their lingo. I can tell you live in Atlanta. Everything is the lingo.
You know what annoys me, and this is why I'm a big proponent of particularly Black women in our image, is whenever someone wants to be a Black woman,
We on the same. We here. Go ahead.
It annoys me. And this go for gay Black men because they the ones. Girl, yes.
The white gay men too.
Yes. Why? Yes, God, yeah.
Yes, bitch.
Yes, bitch. Yeah. God, I live for the gods. Why you want to be a black woman? Why that gotta be us? Why can't you be a Claire
I
Huxtable? You want
just
to be a black
told
woman?
you, I ain't nobody trying to be Cyndi Lauper. They want to be Diana Ross.
It gets on my nerves.
It's because it's the obsession with being black. You have the obsession where you want to fuck us. Then you have the obsession where you want to be like us. You want to take it from us. I want to be a black woman so bad.
They want to be the worst of us. And you know,
And then
the
you get
worst.
Beyonce
They
to
want
lead the pack.
broken dialect. They want to be super hood and ghetto. They won't be someone educated. They won't be someone that, you know, can speak properly or can tell has some kind of formal education. No, it is the hood. Lord, I got so much to pull up. Y'all got me talking. Kendra G, when she has white women on there.
Oh, you seen that guy?
Oh, the transgender.
The gay guy that called in and he was like, yes, bitch, yes, Kendra. She instantly fell into the what? We need to stop doing that. I don't like when gay men just say, oh, bitch, you look, I'm not a bitch. I instantly don't think that you just about to come and we on the same page, but you trying to take my men.
Let's be clear. I am from the generation that when you call me a bitch, that's a fighting word. We going.
Mm.
It's not a compliment.
No.
And when I call you a bitch, it's not a compliment. I don't like you.
I think, but that goes back to me thinking lingo. Like I can understand it's just like the N word and stuff like that. Like I can understand in certain aspects where you may have heard, oh, you a bad bitch. You know, like there has been times where I've ignored the B word because of I knew the intent behind it, and that's your lingo, you know, like, oh, bitch, please, bitch, let me tell you, bitch. You know, like I've ignored it because sometimes it'd be like, this bitch crazy. You know, I'm not trying to fight her. So I think that I've ignored certain things because of the intent. Even from Hispanic people that use the N-word, I've ignored certain stuff because I knew the intent. But I think that goes back to us as women sending contradictions where sometimes we okay with certain things until it's not okay. Like we've been so supportive of this group of men that are becoming women. We've been so supportive of it. They do our hair, we protect it. We get upset about homophobic stuff before they do. We defend their lingo before they do. We jump in front and say, you shouldn't be saying this to baby. Yeah. Why don't you want to see men doing this in the parking lot? You shouldn't speak on it. You know what I'm saying? We jump in front of it, but we're not understanding that they are literally taking a position to X us out the game. They want to be black women. Now, when I'm looking at I follow this trans person on TikTok because I didn't even know he was a man. That's how long I've been following him. And he looks just like a woman. And I'm like, damn, this man is more feminine than females. Now we got a problem, Houston. These trans women are coming in we talking about the ratchet ones, but the ones that are feminine, that don't overly do it, they're more feminine than women. So now what's the conversation? Now you have men who are being more okay and open to the idea where if I want to get a feminine woman, I got to go to a trans woman?
Oh, Lord have mercy.
I'm dead.
You know, there was a I'm gonna probably try to pull it up, but there was a trans woman that said that trans women are better than straight women, and it's because that they understand what a man wants, that she's more feminine than regular women. So there are now trans women saying that they are better than cis quote unquote women. So it's already here.
And that's the agenda. It's not equality. It's never equality. It's superiority. It's so that we can get our rights to say stuff. And now that we get our rights off the back of y'all support, good fucking luck. Because while y'all supporting us, we're telling y'all what not to say. Meanwhile, we're judging how y'all do relationships. We're judging how you woman you are. We're judging your straight men. We got so many opinions about heterosexual. Before it was homosexual, before it was homophobic, it was heterophobic. Why did they get rid of heterophobic to replace it with homophobic? And now that's all we talking about. When are straight people going to start talking about, we want to protect the way our households are. We don't want you having a conversation because it's heterophobic. Why do you have opinion against another heterosexual Black woman that says this? You mimicking us can be very insulting. It should be offensive to know that I can just go put on the bra and panties and you tell me that my womanhood is subject down to that level. Like the postpartum you will never experience, the depression that we go through on different levels based on our hormones and our bodies changing every 7 years, you will never experience. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of experience that come with having these organs that you will never. Go ahead, TT. I'm sorry.
And from a HR perspective, that trans woman can take the job because according to these new rules and laws and regulation, that trans woman can take the job from a biological woman because they identify as a woman. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe we pay in the wrong position. So can I apply to be president in other positions if I identify as a man? Maybe we need to identify as men so we can get other positions. Is that the message? You made it court.
Yeah, let me see if I can play this. I was trying to find the video, but I see a reaction video. Let me see. Lord.
I would love to see a transgender clean out the storage. Have a sewer job. Oh, there you go.
Benefits of dating a transgender woman and why we are probably most likely, I don't want to be biased, but why we're probably most likely a better candidate of dating than your average bish.
You're an average bish. So are you calling straight men? Well,
younger people, and it makes us really sweet. You go through as much as a trans woman who's been either kicked out of her home or she's been beat up by people, by bullies and stuff. She's gonna be a very, very loving, caring person because she doesn't want anybody to feel what she's been through, So she's gonna be super sweet and she's just gonna be a loving person.
Going through a lot.
Spend $100 on something for me to be happy. We just want you to hold our hands in public. We just want you to be happy that you're with us. Little things like holding our hand in public can make us super happy because there are people out there that want to hide us. So we're easy to please. We don't have super unobtainable standards. We do have standards. I don't want to make it sound like we don't have standards, but we are not just stuck up and bougie and just wanting the world from you. We just
bitch, shut up.
What are your thoughts?
Bitch, shut up. Since you want to be a bitch. Then you got these Vin Rain shoulders and this line in your chest that you can't get rid of because you're trying to get your boy breasts in. So now you're doing stuff and you're subjecting us down to and I just want to
we're super supportive and
yeah, we're not busy. So you really hate
what woman don't want you to hold your hand? I'm like, thank you for your interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
But if we snatch us as women,
your interpretation.
If we snatch that wig off your head, you're gonna be in your true vulnerability and humble real quick.
Yeah.
So you ain't gonna look like no woman who get her wig snatched off and she got a beehive. You gonna look like a brother, okay?
Yeah,
I don't know why we're sitting up here listening to this idiot play these games like we just some basic. All we do is get our hair and nails done, and that's it.
No, well, this tells you is that they want to be inclusive. No, you don't. You want to be better than or take over. You don't want to be inclusive. You don't want to be a woman because right now you're saying you're better than a real woman.
Mm-hmm.
It's the community for me, and I'm gonna play something from last night, but it's you want me to believe in your delusion, and not only that, but you think that my ideas and my opinion, if it doesn't fit your narrative or if it doesn't fit what you think, then I'm wrong. I'm homophobic. I'm transphobic. I'm all this. Let's be clear. I ain't scared of none, nobody. Okay, this phobia idea means I'm scared of something. I'm not scared of you. Okay, at all. Not scared of nothing. However, if I don't condone it, if I don't support it, doesn't mean I'm scared of you. I just don't. That's
Look
it.
at him though. Like this is the part where it's just like we cool with what you doing on your side of the tracks. But when you start trying to come over here and you trying to act like manipulate our men by trying to say, well, you don't have the I was hearing some idiot and it pissed me off so bad because I don't care with no title. If I'm phobic, yeah, I'm scared of this shit because this is getting more rights than us.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I don't want to call it a them or nothing based on my own belief. So I'm gonna call it a it. And this ain't gotta be Courtney's belief, but this is what I'm gonna say. It needs to stop because now we are saying to them, we don't want to say anything. They're trying to beat us and take our voice away. So we don't speak up. Black women have all this vitriol for what men be saying and all of this. I feel like this is the time we're on a public standpoint where you're trying to have a voice and you're saying that we are hating or we're this. That is the prime example of somebody who's trying to be better at something than you. And the only way you could win is if you take most of our men, not the ugly ones we don't want. I'm talking about the ones that are the great good men, the stay at home.
Look, don't say that because I am one that says that you ugly.
No,
if someone does not, let me tell you, this is this old lady wisdom, right?
If you bi curious man, you need to be on that side.
I'm just talking about an attractiveness, heterosexual relationships. Attractiveness can change. Someone that you don't think is attractive, once you get to know them, a personality, a kiki, a ha-ha, can change what a man looks like. I've dated and I was in love with a man that I was not attracted to. He was short.
I wouldn't say an attraction based on looks.
Oh, attraction based on
overall
penis,
like,
having a
and
vagina.
I'm gonna be more direct. What I mean, the ones we don't want is unattractive. The ones that are already bi-curious to even pick. I don't want no bisexual man.
Oh no, I don't either.
That's unattractive. The ones that already agree with them and take up for them, not in a way of like what's wrong or right. I don't believe people should hate them or do nothing. When I say the ones we don't want, I'm saying the ones that are left here that we call incels. Nobody is being with them. We don't want them anyway. They can't get anyone. They may have personality disorders. The ones that sit with themselves and watch these type of people have sex on camera. There are a lot more men that are interested in looking before they actually partake. Because don't ask me how I know. They are. And it scares me. You ever been to a gay club where you see some fine men that don't seem like they should be in there? We don't want them. That's what I'm
Let
saying.
me tell you again my stories of ATL. I went to a club in Atlanta long ago. It was called Bulldogs. I don't know if it's still there, maybe so. But it was an all gay club. My neighbors were two gay guys, and they were fun. I can't even front. They had a good time with them, and they used to come over and put my clothes on, my shoes on, and did all that. So I went to a club with them called Bulldogs, and when I went in there, those men looked like they could have played for the Atlanta Hawks. They looked like they could have played for the Tennessee Titans. They were big, broad, and I was like attractive. I saw a lot of wedding bands. And I looked and I said, oh, wow. I was like, and I asked, I was like, these men are gay. And he was like, well, a lot of them are DL. They come here to pick up trade. But a lot of them are married. And I looked and then one man had the nerve to try to like buy me a drink and was trying to kind of hit on me. And I was like, now I know I don't look trans. First of all, okay, I look like all kind of woman. But no, I'm fluid. I like women and men. And I said, I would never, because I know I can't completely satisfy you. You want a penis too. And I don't have that, sir. And I'm not going to strap on to give you any penis. I can't satisfy you with my womanly parts because you like both. Why in the world would I even try to entertain anything? Like, that is not my thing. Yes,
Well,
ma'am.
I got nothing.
Oh,
well, from the past, a long time ago, since it's already out there,
Lord.
I've had that experience where there are married couples that will pay you and your girlfriend to come peg their husband with your strap on.
What?
So that is a thing.
What? Wait a minute,
Yeah.
wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
So
Say what?
y'all said okay, because we want to know how you know, Lucky, because I know. When you are in that lifestyle, you are exposed to a lot of stuff. You learn fast, and you learn that when you looking at stuff like, what the hell? I thought we was regular gay. Like it's some other stuff. So then you start learning other stuff based on your friends, based on parties you go to, and all of that. And honest to God, it was a thing where you have a married couple. Married couples go to gay clubs a lot, and the man has a fantasy as well, just like the woman, in which they would say, Courtney, I want you to pay. You ain't got to take clothes off, whatever. I want to pay you to peg my husband.
Now we
Say what?
Now when you say peg, does that mean, what does that mean exactly?
I mean, you're gonna fuck her husband in the ass with a strap on. You're pegging him.
Oh.
Yeah. Some women are into that.
I got nothing.
That's why when I mentioned there is a group of men.
Look, nothing surprises me no more. I just wouldn't think. I mean, I can see a man paying you to be with his wife. I cannot see a woman being paid to put on a strap to have anal sex with their husband. Why in the world would a woman want to see her husband bent with their butt up, getting it from the back? What?
You don't really ask no questions in those situations. You just
say what?
Look, we can't judge people's sexuality, y'all. I don't want nobody judging mine, but that's why the gay world is really a world in itself. It is a world where there's a whole lot of sexual people heterosexual people who express their homosexuality under and behind closed doors, and there are a lot of women, to my surprise, that are into bisexual men. A lot of black women.
Empress Vibe said, "Clutch it. I need to go get some pearls so I can clutch them. I'm done.
Okay.
I need to go put some pearls on so I could just clutch them. I mean,
y'all don't be hearing how y'all. I was born in '91. Y'all ain't on it.
My dad said I'm a square, and I am.
This is new age sex stuff. I ain't never heard of that. Like when I heard the cucking thing about, white couples wanting a black man in the bedroom, like that was new to me. But I think it's like a generational thing, because I ain't never heard of a man wanting a woman. Well, I have heard of men wanting women to finger them in the butt.
Yeah, so if you get pleasure, okay, we're gonna have a real conversation. They say, and studies have proven.
I have heard that.
Yeah, okay. So if you can get off on a finger in your butt, imagine what you can do with a strap. That's what they think. Look, just see if your husband's farts are silent, and then I think that should answer your question.
What?
If he farts, if it's like a little air, like, then you kind of can say that booty been touched. You know what I'm saying? But if it's like, let me shut up, y'all. Y'all be with bisexual men and you don't even know. That's why sometimes I hate that I've been aware. I'm appreciative of my experience in that lifestyle. It has exposed me to a lot of shit. But now in the heterosexual lifestyle, when you see how unfamiliar people are, what would really be going on, I could look at some people's husband like, Yeah. His farts is probably silent. Yeah, that's what I think.
Well, Mr. Randolph ain't.
I never thought about listening to a man's butt and if he farts to see if it's something that's been up in it. I never thought of that. So the butt, does the fart is what if it's a big old
If your butthole, okay, but think about this. If your butthole has been stretched, how are your farts? The fart make a sound because it's tight. You trying to squeeze it out the air. If it just go out, you probably don't have no booty hairs either. Like it's a lot going on there. But so if you, I ain't ready for that.
You know, okay, because now my mind, okay, better you put this up, toot that thing up. Now, I just recently saw that,
he said I'm a trailer park. I don't think black people could be.
I don't know.
At least give me the project.
Oh, what is that rapper? Oh my God, he's super short, super lame. He had a song with Ray J.
Oh, Young Bird.
Young Bird. Yes, thank you. You knew the super lame and Ray J, and then he was Young Bird. He was on a podcast talking about him letting women, you know, toss his salad. Do you think that's homosexual? The man that likes to get his butt tossed with a tongue? Is that gay?
I don't think anything you do with the opposite sex can be considered gay, even pagan. I'm just of that belief. I think but the behavior one might question, because if you're okay with that, what makes the difference of the gender that does it? Most men, we got to think of how we have sex. Most men don't like their butt touched, heterosexual men. So once you start to, if we understand how to even change one's sexuality, it's going to be based on first making them comfortable with something they're not comfortable with. So if I slowly want to, I'm not going to put on none of y'all husbands. If I slowly want to groom a man, I'm going to have to subtly do it. So maybe we're going to start with me licking your butt. Then we're going to introduce the finger. There's 2 fingers. You know what I'm saying? Like there's stages to get you okay with it. And then, but if you're already open to it and it gets you off, then you're going to then be okay. Why are you going to be not okay with this? You know what I'm saying? It's just like if you're with a man and he wants to suck a strap. Like let's say you are a woman and we grown here, and you're a woman, and some women like toys while they're sleeping with their husband. And your husband wants to start doing that, we can say, oh, it's not gay because it's not real. There's no man. But if he's okay with practicing certain things, one might say he is definitely okay with doing it. He's just grooming himself. He's preparing himself for the real thing. I mean, what if you?
I hear you.
If you were a man that always wanted to do anal, wouldn't you start to question?
Why are you always trying to mess with my butt?
Yes, I would question that.
What's the difference between my butt and the butt that knows silent farts? That butt already been open.
Well, I'm thinking like at least my butt is soft and not hairy. You know, it got a jiggle.
Unless you Saucy Santana, his butt looks soft. I'm just saying, y'all.
Speaking of soft, did y'all see this?
Not speaking of soft.
So D Wade's daughter, Zaya's name has officially been changed legally, and the sex of being male to women has been changed legally. D Wade's daughter been granted the official name and gender change she wanted. TMZ Sports has learned, according to new legal documents that were obtained in LA, court judge just signed off on the new legal identity for D Wade's transgender 15-year-old. D Wade's kid is now legally Zaya Micaiah, Aramis Wade? Oh, the dumbass name. And the judge also ruled in favor of her officially gender change from male to female. The legal change came from some family drama. As we first told you, the retired NBA star and his ex-wife were at odds about this. What are you guys' thoughts?
I think
Oh, hold on. Let me read this because this is such a contradiction. D. Wade's on record saying the change will allow Zaya to feel confident and enjoy an honest life. I mean, he's not living honestly, so he ain't gonna have no honest life because honestly, that's a boy. But go ahead.
I think the child is helping Dwyane Wade realize his sexuality. I think he's saving him from understanding. I think Gabby is really his husband. I think she pegs him. I think that, I mean, if my spidey senses is correct, she definitely does. I think that with their daughter, them, I'm trying. I think with them, but this confusing. I don't know what to address him as, so I'm trying to be delicate. I think with them, his biological, I said their biological mother had a problem with it because she said he didn't start to change until he lived with them. Them meaning the parents, not them meaning the one child. So I think that in this aspect, it's a different thing to support your child's sexuality and love them regardless. But when support comes into encouragement and you're aiding them to, do you want to go to this appointment? Do you want to go buy dresses, son? It's almost like you're excited to do this because this is something you wanted to do. Like, I just think that they're both bisexual.
Yeah. TJ? TJ's having a hard time today.
Every week we shock her.
TJ. She don't know what to say.
I just, I'm.
Your spirit is disturbed.
I feel like I need to take another shower after this broadcast.
Yeah, it's a lot going on.
Because this child is not a female. So again, this is a lie because again, you've had this birth certificate change, and this child is going to go out into the world. Now the difference is everybody knows who this child is going to be as they grow up. But a regular person, an unsuspecting person, would get a birth certificate that's been legally changed and says the person's a female when they're biologically male. That's dishonest. And the problem that I have with a parent is the fact that, they say that transgender children, and I don't know the statistics, have a greater risk of suicide. And I'm not saying it's not true. I don't know, but I'm not going to allow you under my house to get a sex change, to take drugs, none of it. What you choose to do when you become adult, that is your choice. But under my house, I'm not going to encourage it. I'm not going to facilitate it. I'm not doing any of it. So if that makes me a bad parent, then I would be one. Because I'm not doing that. Because here's the thing. I don't know who said it, but somebody did a show and said that it's okay right now. But when that child, because he is a male, and he's 6'5", 6'7", when he comes into the real reality of as he starts to grow, it's going to be obvious. It's, because again, that's not, you don't have everyday 6'6", 6'7" females. You don't. So, I'm incredulous. I just can't co-sign on that. I can't, I won't. Again, what you choose to do when you leave my house is one thing, but when you're under my roof, I'll get you all the counseling we need to get. But I'm not doing any of that.
Sorry, I'm on mute. I just saw that like yesterday, and I was like, D-Wade just got to get in the spotlight. He has to say something. He got to do something. It's always concerning his daughter because no one cares about him or Gabrielle Union has been. Someone cares. And so now they're sacrificing their child.
Girl, meanwhile, Gabby was that yesterday. I sent it to y'all. She over here thinking her daughter crazy for wanting a husband.
What?
Somebody
When
put in
she
the
said
chat,
oh, go ahead.
in some states, the schools can advise supply meds to children without parental consent. I'm suing.
No,
Yeah,
they
no,
can't.
they
Go
yeah.
ahead. Yeah.
No, that's actually true. Some of the things do not require parental consent.
I'm suing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
But
suing.
if your child also says that they identify as something else, they also can call them whatever they want to identify as, and not tell you.
Mm-hmm.
And the
I'm
school is
suing.
predominantly led by women. I just want to put that out there.
I'm suing because, again, if that's the case, if I can allow my 12-year-old child to decide that they want to be a different sex, but they're too young, I can allow my 12-year-old child to make a life-altering decision, but they're not legal enough to go into the military. You better leave me alone.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, they're not legal enough. I mean, since we're sexualizing the little boy, he might as well get an adult male boyfriend. It ain't like grown men don't like little black boys. We just had this conversation.
Yeah. Well,
So
now with those hormone blockers that children are taking, again, but parents, I think it's child abuse. And as a parent, you know that what your child feels like today is not what they're gonna feel like next week. What they like yesterday is not what they like now. So for you to suppress and to alter your child, it's ridiculous. And now the stories are coming out. Of course, they're not going to go mainstream, but there's so many stories of now these transgender girls. They're really turn into men or wanting to reverse back because they're like, I don't feel the same way. However, because they had those hormone blockers, they can't have a period. This little girl now that she's 18, 19 years old now won't ever become pregnant. And as a parent, you allowed that for your child at 13, 14 years old to alter their whole identity for the rest of their lives. It's child abuse.
And it's sexual. Let's stop acting like the way you see yourself, whether you are male and female, as if it's not directly connected to the sex that you're attracted to. We're not seeing young boys say, I want to be a little girl and still like little girls.
Mm-hmm.
They like boys. Girls aren't saying I want to be a boy because I still want to date men.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be with a girl. So I think it's one thing to be homosexual, but it's another thing where you're going to extreme lengths to where parents are supporting them. What's that Caucasian actress? She adopted a black child, a boy, and then she started dressing him like a little girl.
Oh Lord. Oh, it's actually a few of them.
Yeah.
Is it what did Angelina Jolie do it with Brad Pitt's naked children?
No,
she's blonde.
Not Charlize. Is it Charlize?
Charlize Theron?
Is it her?
Is it Sandra Bullock?
No, it's a blonde.
It's a blonde. She's a blonde.
Yeah.
Charlize Theron.
Charlize Theron, I believe so.
They said it in the comments. Yeah. Charlize Theron. So she has a son that she adopted, a black boy. I'm trying to tell you, they sexualize us in every aspect. Even we do it. But she has a black boy that she is started wearing dresses and things like this, sandals. And she adopted him from a young age because she said, I like for him to express himself. Now, I can see it because it was a couple years ago. My nephew wanted to be Iron Man and we ran errands and he wore Iron Man outfit. But I'm not about to go to the doctor so he can try to get powers, try to do this. I want to fly. That's a total different thing than, I just support what you think you are. Now, I will say, if you are a parent and your child identifies this, you remember when you were younger, you had the tomboy. And you had this. I don't really want to address this.
I was a tomboy.
If you have a homosexual child, is supporting them also supporting the way that they want to dress? Because if you my son and you don't like male clothes and you go to school to change your clothes, I'd rather know who my child is, not hide who you are from me. Like, do you start to buy your kids the clothes that they choose to prefer?
Hell no. I don't give a rat's ass. Okay,
You
gonna
gonna wear what I buy.
in my house, you're gonna wear these clothes. I don't like them. Tough titty.
Is it based on gender? Because if you can say I was a tomboy, how do we say girls are tomboys? It's based on how they dress and carry themselves.
Well, I was a tomboy because I played I played volleyball, but I mean, I grew up with boys. I always played with them. I didn't play with a lot of dolls because my brothers broke them all, so I didn't have them. But I used to wear their clothes. Well, maybe that was a generational thing too, because in the 90s, girls dressed like dudes. Like we had the Tommy Hilfiger, big baggy clothes. So maybe that was the time, but I didn't wear dresses. I didn't wear heels until I got to college. I didn't wear makeup. I was really like a plain.
What do you do? Like if your child, let's say they're like, I don't want to wear these certain clothes. I don't like dresses. I like to wear, like, do you just buy them like dress pants? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, because there are pants that we wear now that are not.
They were in the girl section. They were in the girl section. Oh, that's fine. You don't like to wear dresses? Fine.
Well, y'all saying I'm not gonna buy another gender clothes under no circumstance.
Under no
so you wouldn't go to your son's wedding that if he's marrying a man.
I would go I would go. That's my son. It's my child.
That's a good question. If my child was getting married.
Are they using the Bible? That goes, but I'm saying the way that you're using conviction against their lifestyle is coming from a moral place.
That's
acceptance is not approval.
Is it not? Is it? If you accept something, you giving a.
I accept the life that you've chosen, but I don't approve of it.
Then why going to the wedding?
Because you're still my child.
But they still your child when I wanted to wear a dress.
But again, you were under my roof then. I'm making the decisions for you. When you leave my house, you make your own decisions.
It's strange. Okay, so once I take care of myself and I'm a homosexual son,
you can make your.
What you buying me for Christmas? Are you buying my wedding? Are you helping me pick out my wedding dress?
No.
You gotta either accept it or okay.
No. You're gonna always be my child. I mean, and again, there's some things that I did as far as decisions. There are things that I'm. My mother accepted the fact that I was having a child out of wedlock. She didn't approve of it, but she accepted it.
But see, that's something that a child out of wedlock is something that heterosexual people do.
A child out of wedlock is based on fornication.
Well, that's true, but it's a difference when I sin and I'm repentant, then I bask in my sin. I'm actually have full of pride of my sin. I celebrate my sin. I'm going to make you celebrate my sin. It's a difference. So I know that having sex out of wedlock is wrong. Did I do it?
It's still normal.
But it's wrong, and I'm aware of that. But when you're in this particular lifestyle and it's a behavior, I'm telling you that this is what I'm going to do. It's like a reprobate mentality.
It is, but it's not the same when we continue to have sex out of wedlock and we know we having it.
Okay, just for 5 minutes. Let's just for 5 minutes.
It ain't the same to me.
Okay, so out of wedlock means what? Are we talking about the ceremony? Because you when you slept with that person for the first time, that's your husband, right? The person the bloodshed, all of that was what secured the marriage. Most of us is not with the same person we lost our virginity to. That could be considered our husband, right? But if the thing about having sex out of, let's say, a ceremony or asking God, it's still something that's not against your nature. It's just against the fact that it's not in the constitution of what we say you're supposed to have sex with. Having sex with the opposite sex is against your nature. That's why abominations are different from regular sins, because it's not nothing that's natural. So if we can judge off that, then I'm also against you opening the Bible that says man and woman to get married, and then you have a dress, and I'm sitting there in a church against something that I'm saying I'm against with a pastor to marry my son and pronounce him as husband and wife next to another man, or vice versa with women. Like, if I'm against it based on my principles that come stem from God, then I also have to be against the fact that God is not ordaining this. What book are you? Maybe if you got married a different way, I don't know, but marriage itself, considering from what I understand, has always been directly connected to God.
I agree.
Yeah. So right, because it's, if you think about marriage, when you're living with a man, right, and you need to marry her to make an honest woman. So the marriage is, you're not living in sin anymore. However, you marrying someone in same sex is not, you gonna continue to live in it. How could I support your you continue living in it?
And I thought it was better to marry than to burn. You get married, it's still wrong. Because versus if we got married, now we can legally, spiritually legally sleep with this man, right? is defiled without marriage. It's okay to sleep with him and do whatever, right? But even if I'm homosexual and I marry a girl, ain't shit under there saying it's okay. It's still wrong.
Okay, now it's
So
still.
what is the point? I just wanted to bring that up because.
Well, I mean, if the answer to if the question was, would I go? If it's my child, I would.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked to well because I love my child. And again, like I talked about a show or so that my friend who, she passed away and she was struggling with the fact that her son was gay.
Mm-hmm.
And she set some parameters as the things that she was not going to have in her home. And I said, I understand that. And I said, I'm not saying I would do anything differently. I said, but I am going to tell you that that's still your child.
Right.
And do you want to risk not having a relationship with your child? That's something that he is going to have to rectify with God.
Mm-hmm.
But that is your child. And do you want to risk not having a relationship with the person that you brought into this world that you raised?
Is that against God? Honestly, I know I'll be testing it.
I don't know. But again, for me, there was a time that I will never forget. I'll never forget because my daughter was going through. She's never been gay, but I remember there was a time that she dressed all baggy and she dressed really, and I was like, and I remember my dad asked me a question if I thought Danielle was gay. I was pissed. I went off. Off. I didn't curse at my dad, but I went off.
Mm-hmm.
But after I thought, because she wasn't dating anybody at the time, and we later got to the bottom of it why she was dressing the way she did, because she didn't feel good about herself. So she said she dressed that way because she didn't want to be noticed.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to ask myself, if it were true, would I love her any less? And the answer was no. Yeah. I would not want that for my daughter. I would not want that for her, but she was still mine.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm grateful that she wasn't, but it made me think, she's still mine.
Yeah. So it was. So where is it where your daughter, you love her unconditionally, and I'm speaking of like me being a mom as well too. However, your lifestyle, I don't condone it. I don't respect it. Where does my boundary lie? Well, because I'm gonna be honest, if my daughter was to grow up to be a stud.
Why stud?
She can't be gay. She gotta be the man. Like you can't even be. If she grew up to be a stud,
okay,
I would be pissed.
But a femme is okay.
No, but you just taking it on extra.
Why? Okay.
Like, but okay, just take the stud. I'll be fighting up you. I would, but if she would say, "Mom, I'm in love with a woman, and I want to marry her." And this is the lifestyle that I chose. I would tell her, I don't think this is the best lifestyle for you. I think that you are doing something completely against not only your nature, but what God has for you. And I don't support it. I love you, but I can't support this lifestyle because I know this is going to be to your detriment. Well, are you going to go to the wedding? I would be like, why would you? You would ask me. You know how I feel. Do you want me at your wedding knowing that I don't approve? You want me still there? If I think that you're going to hell with this lifestyle, you want me to go? I just think condoning and supporting it. That's hard. That's hard.
I think this.
That's hard.
I think we love people conditionally, including our kids.
Mm-hmm.
I think there is nothing that supports morals that says that if your child partakes in a lifestyle that is no longer aligned with what you believe in, that it says get from among them. If your child becomes a them, I don't think there's something that says no, this is my child. I had them, like I can understand that, but I'm of the belief if my child live a lifestyle where you are an R word or R.Kelly, or you are anything that seems predatory and violent, you are not my child. get from among them is what he said, and you are the them, and I don't want to be around you. So that
Mhm.
includes if you have a sick lifestyle. Now, I think that if my child is homosexual and they come to me, an adult, like I want to be around. I want to know who's in my child's life. What are your intentions? Because you have a lot of abuse that goes on in homosexual relationships,
Right.
and you're saying you responsible for them. So if you know right from wrong, that's between you and God. All I know is I'ma love you. I'ma be at this wedding. Don't have it in a church. I'm be like, look, if you want me to go, have it in the park or something. You know what I'm saying? Get a gay
On a
passport.
cruise.
Get a whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Like you gonna be in church like, oh my God, Lord, just know I'm here just because, because I got my own sins I'm fighting. I'm trying to get rid of the ones that I created. So
Listen,
you're trying to have me add some, so I think what it is I'm not against it. I wouldn't, if I had a child who was more of a tomboyish and I understood and we had real conversations, I'm of the belief is I want my child to be as transparent with me as possible. I'm not your friend. Parenting ain't for me to be your friend, but at the same time, I want you to know that if I made a decision that my parent didn't agree with, I wouldn't want my child to not come to me because it's a homosexual lifestyle and they don't want to vent to me because I don't agree with it. No way. No, because they might not agree with the fact that I'm with this man and he cheated on me and I took him back. They might not agree with a lot of stuff that I do in my life on how I raise them, how I dress, a lot of things. But I know I would go. If you want to try on this dress, I'm about to be like, you have to accept who your mama is because them shoulders ain't for that dress. You need to get another dress. I would be who I was because that's what you want to do. You want to show up in the world. And if my son got a dress on and he with me, you better not say a goddamn thing because he ain't hurting nobody and he ain't up here saying that he identifies as something else. Now, if he trying to convince me to call him a woman, or she trying to convince me to call her a man, now you're dabbling into my personal beliefs. You living your life the way you want to had nothing to do with me because we just sat up here and had a conversation about Prince being a heterosexual, but I could have sworn he had Daisy Dukes on. Now y'all could say something different.
It was butt out jeans. Prince had butt out jeans. He
wore heels and he sound like a woman. Okay, but women was going so.
Butt out jeans.
You know what I'm saying? We can sit up here and see feminine energy and say he's sexy. Then my son having feminine energy should be just as accepted. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I think. But as long as you're not trying to make me believe you're something that you weren't born as, we good. I don't care what you do with your life. As long as you know that whoever you pray to or whoever your creator is, I'm gonna just believe that this is your journey in the same way I had a journey to be exposed to different things in the lifestyle and it took me to be who I am. That's just what I gotta believe. Now, if you a boy, it's different because there's no way you could be gay and not be gay and women think you're not gay no more. That's the only thing.
It's a double standard. It's a double standard that women can try and be straight. Men that try are just gay.
Well, no, they still call me a lesbian. So
do they? No, I don't. I think it's a double standard, and I don't care if you agree with me or not, but it is that a woman can try out a woman and play around in the carpet, and then get a man, and that's do it all. They do it all the time.
You say play around in the carpet?
Yes, it is.
As my dad say, with the monkey.
Play around in that carpet
with the monkey. I like that one.
Play with that. But a man that's been with a man that was like, no, I've been with a man. I'm cool on that. I want you.
I just suck a little dick on Thursdays.
It's a double standard. And I think it's a double standard because a whole big, burly, stinking man. Women are soft and pretty. And I mean,
we're naturally sensual with each other.
I'm sorry. That's a big, burly, hairy, stinky, sweaty man.
But there is a contradiction, but I think men also confuse it because men are the ones that set that contradiction by thinking it's sexy for women to be with only certain women. They don't think the stud. Oh my gosh.
His butt out jeans, them pants. You remember that on MTV Awards? That's what he had. It was his butt was out.
Is that feminine or masculine?
It's very feminine. Yeah. As a matter of fact, it's a tension on your butt. If you remember when they used to say when guys used to sagging happened in the jails, and that let you know that was all access to their booty.
Mm-hmm.
You heard that? I mean, it's showing you access to the booty.
So if a man were this, if Kanye popped out with this, we're gonna be like, they got him, dog. He done did a deal behind the scenes, and he done. We gonna say that.
Okay, what time? I know I did try.
Say what? Yeah, go ahead.
Right, I know we want to wrap it up. So I wanted to get your opinions on Sierra, but then I had another clip that I wanted to hear that goes back into this. Y'all got 30 minutes for me?
Go ahead.
All right, let me go over this clip. This happened on, and this kind of goes into what we're talking about, transphobia and us, whether you agree with it or not. But then I want to talk real quick on Sierra too. But let me play this. And this is from Black Men Unfiltered show yesterday, where again he had a kumbaya with LGBTQ and straight men. Let me try to find it.
But does CTV think not condoning homosexuality is homophobic? What you got to answer for CTV?
Oh, I get a question.
Now, I want to preference. I asked a question in the chat, and this was to CT. I forgot his name on YouTube, but he's a content creator. He's very homosexual, like long hair, sew-in nails, like very, very flamboyant. And they were talking about, everybody was homophobic, everyone's transphobic, everybody phobia. So then I just asked him a question. Not condoning homosexuality, is that homophobic? Clear cut, yes or no? But
question no.
No, you don't have a question because this is a question for him.
No, I was thinking out loud.
Oh, okay. So CTV
does not condoning women in leadership positions not equate to sexism and misogyny? Does white people not wanting niggers to drink from their water fountain in their neighborhoods not equate to racism? What the hell does she think it means? Like, what does she?
Sorry, we're not going. Okay, now look. Okay, be happy I wasn't on that panel. It was an all-man panel because we're not going to talk to me crazy. This was a very respectable question that I asked. What does she think? I think no, but I want your response as a gay man.
You think the answer is because it's all
sassy ass.
That's always the answer for us. But we don't dice that up when it comes to defining racism at all. I just think it's interesting that
which one? Oh, honey,
just flaming. But you think his fart's silent? Go ahead.
People are oftentimes always asked to not ever classify anything as homophobic, but every single thing that the white race does unto the black race definitely gets lumped into racism, irregardless of what white people say on their behalf. What does she think?
I think y'all call people homophobic as a cop out.
What do you think it is?
That's my man. Come on, Freezy. In this case, Freezy, he does have a point.
No, because he didn't even answer Courtney's question. He didn't even answer Courtney's question.
I just answered it. I just
You asked the whole. You asked 10 more questions.
It wasn't asked to you, Frizzy.
See, I'm up here commenting. I need to do a breakdown of this.
I'm thinking about doing it. Information man, I see you was over the show.
Why you up here all this? See what I'm saying? They jealous. You jealous. You seen it was a black girl commenting. Now you want to compare your choice to be a butt pirate to racism.
So my thing is, you can't. Backlash, whatever it is, what it is. Your sexuality is based on the behavior of on how you practice sex. Sexuality is a behavior. You might have an inclination to be attracted to the same gender, but you acting on it is what makes you gay. So it's a behavior. You're choosing to have sex with the same gender. It's a choice. You might have feelings for someone. I have feelings to do a lot of stuff, but when I act on it is when it becomes what I am or what I'm doing. I can feel like slapping the shit out of you. If I do it, that's assault. Me thinking about her feeling a certain way is something different. So it is a behavior.
Yeah, that's where I disagree.
Well, that's a conversation, but this is what I believe.
Yeah.
It is a behavior.
It is. It's a choice too. But I think you gay before you do it. But before you lost your virginity, did you know you like boys?
Yeah.
You didn't need to sleep with a boy to confirm that. The same, I think that he could have just said, yeah, we believe it's homophobic, because what he literally just said was he lumped it into us calling the Karens and all the other people even if it's not racist, sir. Even the thing that we just talked about today, even if they don't see how it's racist to judge us by having sexual fetishes or whatever, it's still lumped into the same prejudice altogether. As far as us saying what we just talked about, I'm not sure if I'm okay with my child being married or going there. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm not sure about dressing them. That's because it in itself is a choice. So you want me to be okay with your choice, and by doing that, you're trying to shun me for asking you questions about your choice that you should be okay with and say, yeah, I'm this and that. Regardless, that's what I believe.
Well, let me ask you, what makes you a killer? Thinking about it or killing somebody?
Killing somebody.
So what makes you gay?
I think sexuality is different. Like, if I'm married to a man and he thinks about men while he's sleeping with me, but he's never been with a man, that man want to be with a man. He likes men. That's his sexuality. You don't have to do it.
Well, okay.
For me to think that you know.
Do you believe that people can be saved from homosexuality and live a straight life?
Absolutely.
Legitimately? So if you believe that, if someone is gay and I don't want to live that gay lifestyle anymore, or I don't want to be gay and I have feelings for the same sex, but I'm not going to claim myself as being gay, because, you know, once I put it's a power in the tongue. Once I say I'm gay, then that opens it up, and now I'm going to try it. Let me just make sure I'm not gay. So I just think it's something when you put a name on it. If I have a feeling for a woman right now, and I was like, I'm not going to act, I know it's wrong, I don't want to act on it, I'm attracted to this woman, but I'm not going to act on it. Does that make me gay?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
But that don't change the reality.
Oh, but see, that's what you think. I just don't think
but
so.
No, if you have a husband and he thinks about sucking dick all the time, he gay. He ain't gotta do it. You want to be with a man. Now, whether you come to terms with it and you choose to do it, that's something different.
Okay.
Versus, you know.
If you've been married for 10 years and your husband come up to you and say, man, you know what? I have never felt this way before, but for some reason I'm attracted to Joe. What are you going to say?
We got to get a divorce. I'm not competing with Joe.
But he's not acting on it. I want to be.
But you know what? I would struggle with that.
I don't know.
He's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. And I would always, in the back of my mind, wonder, is he going to yield to the temptation? I would.
Because it's in him already, that thing. No, we can pray against it. We can do all this. But if you are already thinking about it, that is the first step. Then we just talk about grooming.
Yes.
Then you gonna want me to play with your butt. Then you gonna want me to put two
fingers. Okay, but did you not say that if you do it and it's heterosexual sex, that's not gay?
When did I say that?
You said that earlier. You said if I play with a man.
No, but okay, but he's already thinking about it, so he is. But I'm saying the act of
I don't know.
But no, like, it ain't that complicated. Because you're starting off with a woman to see what you cool with. Now I got to tell my wife, if you got to come to the point where you're telling me you've been harboring on it, okay? It's been a heavy thought.
I gotta pray on this. I don't know. I don't want to just call somebody gay because they have feelings towards him, because feelings are fleeting.
Okay, so is it cheating?
Just because it'd be a spark that okay.
So, okay, you married for 10 years. You married for 10 years, Courtney and TJ, and your husband is sharing. He ain't sleeping.
Don't put me in that. I rebuke you.
Okay.
I rebuke it in the name of Jesus.
Your husband, Courtney, is sharing emotions with another woman.
Get somebody else to do it.
Okay, well, you're a woman, right? And she's married to a man, and he's expressing sexual feelings. Or emotion, for another woman that he ain't telling you. He expressing all his emotions. He ain't slept with her yet. Is it cheating?
Is it cheating if he
ain't acted on it, but he's expressing, he just has these feelings for her?
Okay, let me just make sure I understand. If he has feelings for another woman, it goes beyond just him wanting to have sex with her?
No, they don't have sex. He hasn't made that choice.
No, but he has feelings that's more than just trying to hit. That he actually likes.
He has feelings, yeah. The same way a man might have the same thought about being with a man. but he's thinking it's with her, and I have feelings for you. You catch some text messages. I ain't did it, babe, so I ain't cheated, or is it cheating?
I mean, I guess you can say that's emotional cheating.
Okay, so you're emotionally gay. You didn't send the package off, but it is in the envelope.
All right. Okay. Well, I'll agree to that. He's emotionally, sexually confused.
If he in the right rooms with the right conversations under the right liquor, your man might
because
go.
that's a lot of times where women get in trouble because that's how these at work affairs, because they may not have had sex with the co-worker, but they've start emotionally attached to this person.
Man, that's a lot.
Next.
Well, that man from yesterday, Conscious TV, sir. Okay, it is not homophobia to not agree to a lifestyle. I don't agree with it. And it's not the same, and quit conflating it to being black. Because I'm black. When I wait, I can't take my skin off. You can choose not to be. You don't have to have sex with a man, sir. You don't have to. Okay. And if you don't want to have sex with a woman, then you got a hand. I don't know. You just don't. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a topic.
I'm gonna break that down. Black Men Unfiltered. I'm gonna break that conversation down. It was good.
I won't do it. You do it.
We might do that next week or something.
Uh-oh.
All right. So, good old Sierra. Last topic of the day, and then we are out to enjoy our Saturday. You know, we've talked about Sierra a lot, and good old Sierra made her little song. It ain't came out yet, and the women said, "We ain't here for you, Sierra. You lying, girl. You want women to sing and be proud of being single and getting it all by themselves. However, you are a kept woman. There's nothing that you need to do. Your man got it all." Let's listen to the song.
So all the girls that done did it by themselves. Just for all the girls that's INDEPENDENT. Just for all the girls that be living stress free. Just for all the girls on a mission like me. This for all the girls around the world. This for all the girls around the world. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is for my girls. This is for my girls.
Look at Courtney.
I ain't gonna lie. I reviewed this multiple times.
That low-key is catchy. I ain't gonna lie. It's catchy.
This is for all the girls around the world that don't need a man.
Right. Good message, wrong deliverer. Good message for the person who lives that.
Because you remember she had her prayer.
Yes, I love her prayer too.
But she don't need a man. But in her prayer, she said, "Lord, I pray the next man of my life will be my husband. I pray he loves me, leads me, guides me, reassures me. I pray that he holds me. I pray that everything I want and need in him, I pray he will love me the way you love me." That don't sound like she don't need a man.
She want a man in
God's
God's
image. She's begging God for a man.
She want him in his image at that. I think Sierra she is our baby mother that we love. I exalt her. She is the high value BM. She was the one that made it, and she was supposed to sing a message. Like I believe, what happened to Shantae's Got a Man? What happened to women singing about, I apologize, Anita Baker? Like, what happened to women singing about the love that they felt in a relationship? We don't even need this. Like, Sierra has always been the person to come up with a R&B hit after not having one for years. So we didn't have Body Party. We didn't have a lot of songs about relationship. And let me tell you, I pointed this out with my mom. She did a video, I want to say, was it Body Party, that had Future in it? We have not had a video about love or nothing with Russell Wilson in it. And you would have thought this heifer had all kind of videos with Russell Wilson in it and them showing sensual. Like, she could have played off the Kim K sex tape if she wanted to go viral, and it could have been him and her, and they'd be like, what? And it could have been about making a sex tape with your man. You could have did something that was relevant. Cardi B we can't stop her talking about how freaky she is with Offset, her husband. So it's like when Beyonce got married, then this driver roll up the partition because I got my husband after she had her baby. It's like with Sierra, why aren't you taking the route when you have such a public prayer? This was a perfect aspect to market it. And then it's like, we want to hear about the work you actually did. I think that it's women like her that don't want us to get a good man like her. So you keep certain stuff private because you rather sell us the bullshit while you go home and be happy. And this is why her husband get taken. Because while she trying to out there prove that she can be independent, someone want what you have. And you embarrassing him, in my opinion. But go ahead, TJ.
Well, one of the things that I appreciate, I think, is all three of us have done a little talking about Sierra this week because I think it was very necessary. And I was on a panel, shout out to We on Lock Nation last night, and he kind of asked me my thoughts of why the pushback. And he talked about, and I'm paraphrasing that, this is the anthem, if you will, compared, very similar to when she did her goodies song about, if you can't be with me at this level, then you can't have my goodies. And I said, well, I could go with you there to an extent. When she made goodies, she was 19 years old. It was pre-K, pre-kid, pre-future, pre-dealing with the man with multiple baby mamas. All that was pre. She was singing to that audience of that time, but as you grow and evolve, your art should reflect your life. And I talked about even, Anita Baker, she's never been salacious, but the music that she made after she fell in love with her husband was even different than it reflected her life. So again, if you have an influence and an impact, your music should reflect the evolution, because again, you shouldn't be making the same type of goodies song, because goodies was prior to you becoming a woman dealing with the things that got you where you are. So, and you understand that because you are in a position of influence, your responsibility is greater than to yourself.
Yeah, I agree.
And I was talking about that Destiny's Child song, Independent Women. Well, that song was in 2004-ish. I was waving my hand singing, I bought it. I was doing all that. And I had a kid. My daughter was about 7, but I hadn't come into the realization of how hard it really was. So by the time I come into the realization how hard it really was, I was singing a different song.
Yeah.
That independent song turned into I'm a Survivor.
Hey!
Facts.
And then it turned into Cater to You, because when she found him, baby, I'll wash your feet, I'll shave.
I'm begging now.
Right.
Tell me what I gotta do.
You, baby, this is your day. F me, this is your day, baby. Right.
What can I do to make your day?
She got a man.
No, then it came Beyonce trying to tell us to the left. We start saying, bitch, shut up. You married.
Yeah, and then look, no one is listening to Jay-Z talking about trapping. We don't believe you. You're not doing it. No one's listening to Jeezy talk about he the snowman no more. No, your life does not reflect that. We know how you living now. You can't talk about trapping in your rap lyrics anymore. You guys are millionaires. You have businesses. You are fathers. Your husbands. It don't make sense no more. So Sierra, take a page. I think Sierra needs to shut the hell up and sit down somewhere. I think she has it great. Just be a wife and a mama. I think she could be a model. But she's trying to reinvent herself. I mean, she could model. I think she's trying to reinvent herself to talk to a younger crowd. But
she does model.
She needs to stick to that. Because the crowd that she's is trying to get to, they don't know nothing about her. I asked my nephew, he's 17, you know who Sierra is. He was like, I don't know about nothing about her. No one knows her at this age. We know you, Sarah. And we know how you live. As a matter of fact, we know that we were singing independent and all that and got us nowhere. So now we 30, 40, 50, still living like a life where we were as a 20. And that's there by myself and take care of everything. I'm tired. Sierra, sit down.
She should have made the prayer a song.
Or pass her husband over here to someone that is okay with shutting the hell
That's what it's
up.
coming down to, Court, because stop
Sierra,
acting like we won't
girl,
take your man.
Sierra.
And this is another thing I said last night. It's a difference between doing something because you have to versus because you want to. And I said that last night. You know, if she never, even if she didn't have Russell Wilson, if she chose not to make any more music, she has money that she don't need to do that. Well, now, but she does have Russell Wilson's money in addition to hers. So it's obviously
about her
she's doing it.
catalog, TJ. Just want to put that out there.
And it's obvious she's doing it because she enjoys her craft. And like I said last night, the beauty of me being retired, I get to pick and choose what I want to do. When I had my part-time job and I stayed for a month, well, that's the beauty because I can choose what I want to do. She can choose what type of music she wants to do because she doesn't have to do it. So that signifies to me that it's about the money. It's not about the message because you can choose to put something different out there because you're not incumbent upon what the industry has. You can decide.
But I just want to point out with Sierra. Do y'all remember that song, Can't Leave Him Alone? I can't leave him alone.
I do.
She was with 50 Cent. I'm trying to figure out why she got all these little cute songs before the one that saved her. You prayed for a savior. He came and saved you and somebody else's kid when he was 10 months old.
And she
came into your life.
That is true.
Respected the fact that I'm gonna not, because his morals was he didn't want to have sex till marriage. So
Right.
regardless of what she wanted, she was gonna have to wait.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all do things the certain way. That means I dated you because I learned to like you before I got to know your body.
Mm-hmm.
So I married you, Sierra, because of you and who you are. I actually loved your child enough before I even did everything the right way.
Mm-hmm.
He deserved a fucking song. Okay, he deserved a song. He deserved a movie. He deserved a whole with Rihanna got a whole 12, 22 rooms of an album. He need a room. He needs the dark room. We need to do BDSM. She should be everything on this man.
I'm getting Russell tatted on my left breast.
I'll leave a tooth for him.
What's wrong with her? Wilson, what? Russell Wilson. Oh, right cheek Russell, left cheek Wilson, and I'm gonna be twerking at home.
Yep.
Russell Wilson is gonna be going
that's
up
gonna be
and
in
down.
the video because she twerking in the video. She got gold
with the booty jeans on.
I'm gonna put the booty jeans on that Prince got. One cheek gonna say Russell, the other one gonna say Wilson. I'm gonna get on the chair and I'm gonna twerk, and then Russell Wilson is gonna be like, "Pop."
But who gonna have a problem with her twerking? They talking about she shouldn't be twerking as a wife. He clearly cool with it. So I agree. Put your name on it, but not just that. How about you have a video where you in front of him like you did with everybody else? You was naked in the video with 50 Cent. You was body partying on Future. This man deserves a whole whatever. You know them little videos where they used to have the white sheets and then the couples be playing in the sheet. I'm looking for that. I'm looking for raunchy because when you get, you know how women feel when you get a man that you with and this is your husband. This mean now I'm about to show him what this thing do. You know what I'm saying? And you
what if I do a song say he rescued me? Something.
I don't know. I think
the ratchetest song is her husband.
Listen, she could get real nasty with it. And I would. That's my look.
Sex sells.
I would. I don't know what's wrong with her, but here's the thing. Okay, lady, you better appreciate what you have. Because I'll say this: her doing all this, she keeps saying. You said this before too when I did the live. Is the chanting. And you keep celebrating all the ladies that can do it by myself. You're gonna end up by yourself, and then you're gonna end up looking like a damn fool like Tia Mowry and loving on yourself in a hot tub.
She's supporting depression because her friends are divorced. Lala Anthony is her best friend.
That's fact.
And,
Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, but the thing, Kim always understand. I need a man if I can't get nothing else. Okay, she can get her man to marry her. But the thing with Sierra is, when we exalt this like hyper independence, what they're doing is praising the overcorrection of trauma. Anytime a woman want to be super independent, self-love, all of that, it comes from a failed relationship or her not feeling love. So this is the first thing you tell women: you could do it, girl. nah, girl, what actually happened? You should probably work on that. They have no advice to stay with the relationship. They say, I'm not going to go through this twice. No, you probably should go back to him.
Yeah.
You probably should. You probably should have did. That's never the message. If she made that message, they might try to come for her, but nobody's really getting you can't cancel Sierra and she's with Russell. Now, if she divorced him, they're gonna lock her ass up. She'll
be, let me tell you, she'll be a damn fool.
She over it. And then he gonna go to a white woman and we really gonna flame her because girl, it's your fault.
A fool. Anyways, you guys, I appreciate you guys so much. This show has been amazing. So much good commentary. You guys are
going crazy.
It's fun. We missed you on the Brat topic, but we'll chat about that.
I got a video about that.
You got another? Okay.
Well, you missed about my outfit. Did you hear about my outfit?
No, what's wrong with your outfit?
Nothing. This outfit. This outfit, minus the shrug, is my wedding reception dress.
Oh, the purple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my wedding reception dress that I wore with my earrings that I wore at my wedding reception.
And shout out to you for being still able to wear it.
Yeah, and actually, it fits even looser now because I'm smaller than I was when I.
Because you're not like Sierra, you keeping them in.
And I got the earrings too. And the reason why I got this dress for the reception is because this is Mr. Randolph's favorite color.
Oh.
He was surprised when he saw me in it. Oh, as a matter of fact, I told him I was getting ready for the show, so I was getting made up and I came out and just she said, "Well, where you going with that on?"
What's to bed with you?
What kind of shindig are you going to? I thought you was going to the office. I said, I am, babe. He said, well, we're going to have to talk about this later. I said, we sure can.
We can. Less talking, huh?
There ain't no talking. She gonna say, this is what Sierra should be doing right now. Come on.
She gonna put on that old song.
Put Mr. Randolph on your butt cheeks, right? TJ, show him this what that thing do.
We talking about Krishan. Let's try Mr. Randolph. She gonna come out. Ain't nobody touch it. My man, she gonna fight. That's what we want.
Anyways, you guys, I appreciate you so much. I want to end it on something real quick because
say what? You didn't do that. You didn't do that enough this stream.
I couldn't because Lucky's fault. Lucky literally had my mouth like I couldn't. I was frozen. I gotta get better because Lucky had me like.
I've been thinking everybody know these things.
No, absolutely not. But anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in to what?
Say what?
It's
I'm never not gonna laugh.
It's his perking him lips at the end of it.
Right. But this is dedicated to you, Lucky, because I mean you were something today. And so I would have given
I thought you was about to bring up the Brat. You trying to be funny?
No.
I see this title.
I'll never forget the first time I kissed a girl. It was in the back seat of my dad's old Impala.
Yeah, man, making out in your old man's car. My dad had a Volkswagen. I couldn't do much of anything in the back seat of that thing.
The first time I did it, I was in a little red Corvette.
Oh my goodness.
And vanity.
Jamie.
The craziest thing I ever did was break up with my high school sweetheart.
Man, when it comes to women, we're always doing something crazy.
I know what you mean. One time I poured chocolate all over shit.
Oh my God.
Oh, is that Morris?
Butt out, man.
And you really want to turn a girl on? Put on some Luther Vandross.
Oh man, that works with some girls.
Look at his eyes.
But the guy who really gets them going is Rick James.
You're both wrong. Whenever I want a woman to get wild, all I have to do is
bet your bottom dollar.
Oh my God.
I can make you feel all right. If I make you holler, yeah! Grit your teeth and hold on tight. I gotta know that
be Prince. You need to be Prince for Halloween.
I like Prince. I'm sorry.
Say what?
We're done. You guys, thank you so much. We'll be back next Saturday for Say What, and we appreciate you guys. Bye, everyone.